It's do or die time for the Oregon Ducks bowl hopes. The Ducks must win to become bowl eligible. The Ducks feature a big play offense. They score 29 points a game, and senior tailback Saladin McCullough has rushed for more than 1,000 yards. A nasty defense is the strong suit of arch rival Oregon State. They've picked off 14 passes, and their gap cancellation design defense has racked up 26 sacks. Mike Bellotti has the Ducks in the hunt for their 4th straight winning season. First-year coach Mike Riley and the Beavers are looking for their first Pac-10 win. It's the 101st edition of the Civil War. The leaves are falling in Eugene. The Pac-10 season is coming to a close, but what better way to conclude the regular season than the Civil War as the Oregon State Beavers visit the Oregon Ducks. Hi, everybody. I'm Todd McKim along with Ken Woody and Steve Priest, and welcome to today's telecast. Two teams that are looking to end the season on a positive note. Are you guys ready? Yeah, they're ready, but no doubt about it. The question is the Oregon State offense and the Oregon defense ready for this ball game?
Well, the Beavers have not run the football well at all this season. In fact, the last 5 weeks, 46 yards a game, won't win many in the Pac-10, and coincidentally, they haven't won any in the Pac-10. The Beavers feature the draw, they feature the counter, they had running backs, in fact, their first 2 tailbacks are not back to full health, so they have a tough time. But their offense is a transition offense that's built around one guy. Tim Alexander is the best football player on the field for the Beavers. Offensively, he brings a great opportunity to run the football, to pass it, to get outside. Most teams have simply stopped the Beaver offense by stopping the run inside and blocking Tim Alexander from getting outside, forcing him to hold up. Beavers have to get a game inside today, have to deal with the tailback to win the football game.
Well, if Alexander is the best player offensively, certainly one of the best defensively is in Okie Brechterfield.
Well, no question. The man that Bob Toledo at UCLA says plays with his hair on fire is a very emotional player. He's one of 4 or 5 game breakers on defense. He had 13 tackles a year ago against the Ducks. A great football player. This week, the game plan for the Beavers is to stop the run and then contain Akili Smith.
Well, to stop the run, that means that they're going to have to stop Saladin McCullough, Ken, and not many teams in this league have been able to do that this year.
Not many teams have been able to do that. It's very frustrating. It's difficult to get a straight-on shot at Saladin. The guy is slippery. He's elusive. He's a great runner in the open field. And I'll tell you what, his greatest runs this year have been making 3-yard gains out of 5-yard losses.
Whack, whack. Well, last year he rushed for over 140 yards against the Beavers and scored 3 touchdowns.
And as you see on these highlights, he makes it look easy. He makes it look easy. Very fluid runner. His shoulders always pointing north and south. He wants to hear a lot of yelling from that crowd today. He'd still like to go to a bowl game.
Well, McCullough is Oregon's leading rusher. The second leading rusher is the quarterback, Akili Smith.
Akili Smith is an outstanding offensive player. He's a delight to watch. Great touchdown to interception ratio, 9 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. He is a big play player for the Ducks.
Fox Sports Northwest presents Pac-10 Football, brought to you by Smart Wireless. Take it from Smart Man. Smart Wireless has all the analog and digital wireless options you need. Call 1-800-898-SMART. Fog trying to lift from the Coburg Hills. Autzen Stadium, a capacity crowd. Temperature at game time, 48 degrees, high humidity, slight breeze. And the forecast is for the weather to get nastier as the day progresses. Well, the Ducks lead the all-time series 50-40-10 ties. The Ducks winning last year, scoring 49 points. But the visiting teams have had a lot of success in recent years, having won 6 of the last 7. But Oregon State leads the games played in Eugene. In fact, in games played at Autzen Stadium the last 3 times, they've outscored the Ducks 39-25. The Ducks with only 1 touchdown over that period. Mike Riley in his first year as head coach for the Beavers. 4 years as the offensive coordinator at Southern California, trying to become the first coach since Dee Andros back in 1965 to pick up 4 wins in his initial campaign. And Mike Bellotti in his 3rd year with a victory today, 21 victories, would give him more wins in 3 years than any Oregon coach in his first 3 years since Prink Callison back in the 1930s.
Todd, if you see Mike Bellotti shaking his head in dismay there, it was because Oregon's safety men were lined up at the wrong end of the field to return the kickoff, and they had to be directed down to the other end.
Well, I think the Beavers would like that, not to have one of those two guys touching the football when they kick off.
Well, the Ducks leading amongst the leaders in kickoff returns in the country, and Patrick Johnson fields at the 1. He has an alley. He has a big alley. 50, 45, 41-yard line. Great kickoff return for Patrick Johnson. Andre Holland may have prevented a touchdown.
Exactly what the Beavers are so concerned about defensively on the special teams is stopping the two great kickoff return people.
Nice job. You see Saladin McCullough leading him up. There's nobody there. The Beaver middle part got held up. You know, normally the Ducks fall back and do a wedge. That was a new kickoff return and caught Oregon State unawares.
So 1st and 10 for Oregon at the Beaver 41-yard line. Akili Smith handing off to Saladin McCullough, and the Beavers stuff him at the line of scrimmage, but with good leg surge, picks up maybe 2 yards. Brian Rogers, number 58, we'll call his name a lot today. He's an outstanding linebacker for Oregon State. The offensive line up front, Aguirre, DeVries, Moen, Daly, and Clues. Daly, the lone senior in that group. Everybody else underclassmen. Skill position players, Patrick Johnson with a chance to move into Oregon's all-time top 10 for receiving. Blake Spence, Saladin McCullough, Eric Wynn, Tony Hartley, number 2. 2 wideouts to the near side. Draw play to McCullough. Tries the right side, and he is met after a short gain of maybe 2 yards. And that is once again Brian Rogers, number 58. Very, very active linebacker. Rectorfield, Wells, Atkinson getting a start today. Up front for Oregon State, an undersized defensive front. Active linebackers, McAtee in the middle with Rogers and Brian Jones. Big play guys on the outside. This is a veteran secondary except for the free safety, Terrence Carroll, who is a big hitter from the free safety position. 3rd down and 6 for Oregon. Opening possession. Look at Brian Rogers for Oregon State. Ducks number 1 in the league in 3rd down conversions. 4 wide receivers. Fake the slip screen one side. Patrick Johnson has a seam into the secondary. Gets away from Carroll. He breaks another tackle. Patrick Johnson scores. 36-yard touchdown pass to Patrick Johnson.
Todd, one thing about the Ducks, when they line up their receivers, even though Patrick Johnson's out there, you got to watch the other side too. They fake one side. Beavers tried to make a quick force on it. They missed, as you see, an overrun by the linebacker, and Pat Johnson's off the races. Hey, when he's out there, you got to be careful about containing him. You just can't run up and take a shot.
Interestingly enough, the Beavers have given up a touchdown first possession on 5 games this season. It's amazing. They just don't seem to go, whoa, big play defensively right there.
The first kick that Josh Frankel has not been successful on as the Beavers block the extra point. So Oregon on the board first. Patrick Johnson, the touchdown pass and run. 6-0 Oregon. Patrick Johnson began Oregon's offensive possession with a 57-yard kickoff return, and then he concluded the possession with the scoring pass, 36 yards. Quick drive, 1 minute and 32 seconds. And the point after was blocked by Andre Holland. You can see career receiving, Patrick Johnson right up in there in receiving yards, and with 3 more receptions today, he would move into the top 10 in receptions. Rashamani to kick off for Oregon. Short kick. It's going to hit the turf. Fielded by Sean Williams. Williams has already taken one back for a touchdown earlier this year. Manages to get to the 30-yard line, but the Beavers will take over their first possession. Tim Alexander, the junior quarterback. This year, the offense, as Steve alluded to in the pregame, pretty much on his shoulders and his legs.
Well, it's a transition offense, Todd. And Woody, they are trying to put their best players on the field and do what they can get the most yardage out of, and that's been sprinting Tim out, keeping the ball in his hands.
So the Beavers will come out, ranked 10th in the league in offense. The Ducks are ranked 10th in defense. Something's got to give here today. Tyler First play, Alexander drops the ball, and it's loose again. Recovered by Garth White. Alexander dropped the ball twice, and the second time was a legitimate fumble recovered by Oregon senior linebacker Garth White. Well, this is what the Beavers did not want to see have happen, Steve. Their offense is limited as it is. They don't want to get into a shooting match with Oregon, and immediately they give Oregon great field position.
Well, certainly not. The Beavers can't establish any kind of a running. As you take a look here, looks like I couldn't see the second fumble, but it obviously came out from this side of the field. The Beavers do not want to get in the kind of game where they can't try to establish a run, where they have to throw every time and take into account Tim's sprint out quarterback capabilities. They don't want to get into a long passing game.
Garth White really could have picked up that ball and run in for a touchdown.
So Oregon with possession at the Oregon State 28. Akili Smith to throw. Hit as he throws. Big pressure in Okie Brechter Field, and he has made a living in his first 3 years at getting to the quarterback.
Well, he's been shut out for the last 4 weeks. He's had 6 sacks early on in the season, a lot of pressure. He'll come in from the right of your screen, and wow, it's amazing. Took a strong quarterback to not eat that one, but Inoki's got incredible speed and incredible desire.
You see last week the 10 tackles against USC. He has 10.5 career sacks and 23 hurries. That makes it 24. Coming, trying to bounce to the outside. A little shake and bake, and he spins forward. He gets 5 yards. The 3rd down and 5 for Oregon. Saladin McCullough with a chance today to become the all-time single-season rushing leader in Oregon history. He would need 175 yards. And he has a chance to maybe be Oregon's first Pac-10 rushing leader since 1971. So a lot of things on the line, but this is a pretty good Oregon State rush defense.
Todd, he's done a lot of that behind a very patched up offensive line for the Ducks this year.
3rd down and 4. Beavers showing blitz. Ducks run the option. That's behind McCullough. Loose ball on the field, and it's recovered by Oregon. Inoki Brechter Field had it right in his mitts at the 31, but was unable to hold on, and Akili Smith, the quarterback, made the recovery. Or Michael Clues, excuse me, 74. So it'll be 4th down for Oregon, and a real decision here for Mike Bellotti. This would be borderline field goal.
Well, it's just a bad pitch behind Saladin, but it looked like the Beavers were right there and going to stop him for a loss at any rate.
So Oregon will take a timeout. It'll be 4th down and almost 13. So the Ducks will talk it over and see what they come up with when we come back.
Are you wasting money on spoiled food? Then you need EuroSealer, the amazing new sealer that creates an airtight seal that locks in freshness so food lasts longer. Simply slide EuroSealer along the edge of any bag and it's sealed airtight. It's that easy. Every time you open it, food tastes like it just came fresh from the store. Look, EuroSealer creates a seal so airtight even water won't leak. Amazing! EuroSealer keeps cereal crunchy, chips crisp, vegetables fresh, and deli meat delicious. 1 week later, Twist Tie salad is brown and slimy, but EuroSealed salad is green and fresh. Now on this exclusive TV offer, you can get EuroSealer for only $19.95. Call now and get EuroCan free. EuroCan leaves edges incredibly smooth. You can even reapply the lid. That's a $40 value, all for only $19.95.
To order the EuroSealer and receive the EuroCan absolutely free, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-587-1441. Don't delay, seal the deal and order today. Call now.
4th and a long 12 for Oregon's Mike Bellotti. The Ducks this year 9 of 17. Excuse me, the Beavers 9 of 17 defensively on 4th down plays. Smith flushed and still on his feet somehow. Boy, he takes a pounding, big sack for the Beavers. They would not give up. Akili Smith is not the easiest guy to bring down.
What an athlete.
But they really got after him.
Well, he did a play-action fake to Saladin. I think in retrospect, he kind of wished he'd handed it off to him because he ran right through the line untouched.
See Brian Jones there, one of, again, 4 or 5 players defensively, both outside backers, 43 and 58. They're capable of making the big play, and there's Inoke again. Hold on, Brian Rogers, the big play guys.
Boy, is he a battler or what?
And Jones will get credit for the sack, but Brechterfield should get a big assist. There's Peter Sermon, tackle for a loss. Beavers thin at the tailback position, Steve, because of injuries to Walker, Sean Williams. So we're going to see a lot of Dandridge today.
Well, Dandridge they started out 4th or 5th at the start of the season. We'll talk about it in a second.
Offensive line, a few changes up front. Sykes in there today, and DiDomenico is a true freshman. He got his first start last week. Perez moved outside the tackle today. Tompkins, Maurer, a true freshman from Jacksonville, Oregon, was playing at Cascade Christian High School a year ago. Here's the attempted option. That play looked like it was busted from the beginning. I don't know if they wanted to throw back to Walker or not, but he was wide open. Well, but, certainly no chance for Alexander to make that play.
That was a broken play. Looked out of the tailback position because the play was certainly coming to this side, the south side of the field, and Walker blew the assignment, went north.
Defensively for Oregon, Desmond Bird, the lone senior up front. Miller is only a sophomore. Patu is a redshirt freshman. Garth White, we've called his name along with Sermon. And the secondary, Rashad Bowman, playing very well at the corner this year for Oregon. 3rd and 14 for Oregon State. Ducks showing blitz, and here they come. Alexander, he's trapped, he's sacked, and a flag on the play as well. Dietrich Moore, number 29, basically a linebacker, strong safety type.
Todd, one of the wide receivers for Oregon State flinched a little bit, and I think the Ducks will decline this penalty.
Dead ball. The penalty occurred before the snap, so false start on the offense. Be 5 yards, repeat the down.
So that takes the sack away and gives Oregon State another play. It'll still be 3rd down, but 3rd and 19. Mike Riley, he knows all about the Civil War. His dad coaching under DeAndros at Oregon State back in the late 60s, early 70s. He said, all of my memories, though, are as a fan. He said, I'm anxious to get down on the sideline and actually have, some responsibility in a Civil War game.
Well, he's trying to put the war back in the Civil War at Oregon State.
Alexander, the sprint out. Nobody open, and he throws it away. Smart decision. As the receiver downfield was all tied up, nobody open, so he threw it up into the stands. Beavers will be forced to punt.
Well, not the kind of opening offensive series the Beavers want to see. They simply have to have positive yards on 1st down, running the football. The kind of series we've just seen with mistakes, fumbles the series before. That's not the way the Beavers are going to win a football game.
Beavers vastly improved in special teams this year. Mike Fessler, one reason why. They are facing a dangerous return man, Patrick Johnson. We have already seen what he can do on kickoff returns. He's averaging a little over 8 yards of return on punt returns. This is a low returnable ball based on the bounce. Well, they won't need to. And it hit Kevin Parker in the back, recovered by Oregon State. Oregon State football. Making the recovery is Keith Hayward Johnson.
Fine, true freshman football players, played all year from game 1. There are 8 players that are true freshmen with active playing time for the Beavers.
Situation like this, the guy who calls for a fair catch has got to let everyone else know that the ball is short. Get away from it. Patrick either didn't make that call or was not heard. That's a cardinal error. Let the ball hit you in the back of the leg like that, because then it becomes a free ball. Oregon State can recover.
Well, huge play for the Beavers, and they certainly need something to get them going. They score once they get inside of that red zone. The problem has been getting there.
So 1st and 10 for Oregon State at the Oregon 34-yard line. 2 receivers near side. And they're trying to establish that running game. And Desmond Bird comes away with the football, but apparently after the play. And we have a late flag downfield as Robert Prescott and Eric Edwards were jousting at the Oregon 25.
We've got a penalty flag.
It's one of those college rivalry penalties, Todd. 2 guys 30 yards away from the ball, bumping chest.
It looks like it is against the
Ball.
Ducks.
Personal foul against the defense. 15, 1st down.
I'm not sure whether that goes to our rushing total, I hope.
So it'll be an automatic 1st down for Oregon State. They'll mark the ball at the Oregon 18. And as you mentioned moments ago, Steve, Oregon State has been good in the red zone. They're 20 of 25, 12 touchdowns, 8 field goals, and if they can get it inside the 10, they've been perfect. 8 of 8 in first and goal situations with 6 touchdowns.
But the first down is so critical to the Beavers. They've been losing yardage the last 4 weeks on first down.
Lazatich, the lead blocker there, but Garth White knifing through from his linebacker position. He throws Dandridge for a loss, knocks him out of bounds.
Jason Dandridge was 4th, 5th on the depth chart start of the season. He's continued to improve. Number 1 and 2, Deshaun Williams and Ricky Walker, have had knee injuries. Both are not at full speed, and Jason has come from the defensive side of the ball the last 2 years, and he's playing now and playing very well.
So a loss of 3 on the play, 2nd and 13 for Oregon State. See defensively, Oregon has given up 28 touchdowns inside the red zone. Alexander to sprint out. Looking downfield, it's thrown behind the intended receiver, Prescott, and almost picked off by Michael Fletcher, or Jaya Figueros, excuse me.
This brings up 3rd down for Oregon State. They are last in 3rd down efficiency in the Pac-10, 29%. Ducks are last in giving up a percentage. Interesting, Steve, that Mike Riley, we saw him with the headphones on, and he's not had that the last couple of weeks. Any kind of change there?
Well, the real change is that he has not called plays for 3 weeks. He took the headphones off to get closer to his team 3 weeks ago. Actually, the weeks before that, the first 7 games, he called every play offensively from the field.
Alexander inside screen. The ball, I think, was deflected initially by Michael Fletcher. We do have multiple penalty flags on the field.
As we get this, we'll go back into this coaching situation. Mike Riley has turned over the calls to Paul Chris in the press box. Mike has got the earphones back on so he can see and hear the flow of the game from the sideline.
Dead ball. Prior to snap. False start on the offense. 5 yards. 3rd down.
Well, this is 2 situations, Steve, where penalties against the Oregon State have actually given them another opportunity for a 3rd down play.
No question. The Beavers pretty successful on the rollout that Tim threw behind the receiver down on the 1 on the 2nd down. Let's see if they come back with it. Mike Riley's defensively has been to repeat plays that are successful.
3rd and 18. Ball now marked at the 25-yard line. Here comes the blitz. 7 guys coming. Alexander to throw, and it is incomplete. Juggled. Incomplete. Intended for Roddy Tompkins. Tompkins thought he had it, but his case falls on deaf ears. And so the field goal unit comes on for Oregon State. The Beavers have not kicked a field goal in the last 3 games. Let's take another look at the last one.
Well, the ball is dying, and you just see that's very close. You know, that official was not in the best situation to make that call. You'd like to have that call come from the inside of the field. Ducks aren't going to argue about it.
The kicker, Jose Cortez, has a great leg. He hasn't tried a kick in a while, so you wonder where his accuracy is. It's good.
That would have been good from about 60 yards.
And
wow.
He's got that kind of leg.
Yeah, his longest this year is 45, and you can see he's got plenty of leg behind him. So the Beavers take advantage of the turnover in the kicking game and have cut Oregon's lead in half.
When news breaks, we are there. When the big stars,
we welcome Kareem,
Evander Holyfield,
with Roger Clemens,
tell their stories.
But I'll never shut the critics up.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Fox Sports News Prime Time is there.
Now, I can really say Charles is the best player in the country.
On the field, in the clubhouse, or behind the scenes, our team's got you covered. Fox Sports News Prime Time. We are there. Weeknights at 10.
This is Mike Riley wishing you the happiest of holiday seasons from Oregon State University and Fox Sports Northwest.
Jim Rome, LA Sports Radio shock jock.
I think it's out and out racism.
Wallace Matthew, New York Post print prophet.
Boxing is like the cockroach of sports.
Sports talk for the fearless. The Last Word premieres midnight January 5th.
Oregon State with a field goal, but Oregon still has the lead. And now they kick it to one of the upbacks. This is Garth White. He's been a busy guy already today. Has a fumble recovery and now a kickoff return. And Oregon has great field position at the 40, but pretty obvious that Oregon State didn't really want to kick that ball deep to Patrick Johnson or Saladin McCullough.
Do it once, do it twice, you're in trouble.
Well, they actually pick up 17 yards in field position here, 19 yards actually. So the Ducks take over at the 40.
Jose gets pumped up before games. He usually kicks the first one a mile. Didn't have quite that success, but he stays pumped, and he's got a leg.
He's an interesting young man. He actually recruited Oregon State, sent tapes of his kicking to them. Counterplay to Saladin McCullough, bursting over the left side. Saladin McCullough over the 45 to the 46-yard line.
And there was no dancing around there by Saladin. He just hit it straight up field. He's got a really nice way of moving. No one ever really gets a solid shot on him. When you line him up, he seems to kind of absorb the blow and go sideways. Right there, he was heading right upfield.
He is really strong. He breaks tackles, and you don't expect that out of that size.
Two wide receivers, tight end, and the H-back is A.J. Jelks. He's the lead blocker in that case. And McCullough kind of weaves his way behind A.J. Jelks and has a first down in Oregon State territory at the Beaver 49-yard line. Jessamengeo made the tackle for Oregon State, the junior from Oceanside, California.
This is the smallest, as you look at the graphic. Wow. Great years. Oregon State has the smallest defensive line in Division I. 143-pound average, or 243.
Boy, they were going to be really small.
Yes. And they lost two very solid defensive linemen into UCLA and Washington. Really took it out of their defensive line.
There's the toss to McCullough, the stretch play to the outside. Carroll comes up from the free safety position and bounces him out of bounds at the Oregon State 42-yard line, gain of 7 yards.
Well, the right corner for Oregon State committed a egregious sin there by coming inside the block and left the outside for Saladin to take. You mentioned the Oregon State defensive line. They've got 5 guys in a down line position. I don't know if they have a linebacker playing one of those positions and just have him down, but it looks like they're trying to bulk up against the run.
Well, that's what they will do. They'll bring a linebacker and put him down. Usually it's Brian Rogers, 58, who does that.
Outside screen for Tony Hartley, one-on-one with the corner out there, Andre Holland. He's a positive gain of about 7 more yards for the Ducks, another first down at the 35-yard line. This is a good Oregon State secondary experience with Holland, Hatcher, Elahi, and Ruffin, who is basically the 5th DB.
This is a very experienced secondary. You watch Holland in this case. He's smart enough to know where his help's coming from. He'll just stand there when he's out on an island by himself. He started since he was a true freshman.
Hatcher, Elahi, Bumpus, and Holland have combined for 26 career interceptions. First and 10 for Oregon. Midway through the first quarter, Oregon leading 6-3. McCullough weaving his way for about 4 yards to the 31-yard line. Brian Jones, the tackle, the junior from Arroyo Grande, second on the squad in tackles for Oregon State.
Well, Steve mentioned the difficulty Oregon State's offense is having on first down, not getting positive yards. The Ducks right now are getting 4 more yards every time on first down. That allows them a lot of flexibility in their play calling, second and third down.
Well, I've always felt that first down was the most important down, and you mentioned the key number, 4 yards. I think that's it. You get 4 yards, and it's all in your court.
Oregon now with a trip set to the near side. Kevin Parker in the game to try to spread the defense and open it up for McCullough. Into the secondary, 20, 15, 14-yard line. First down for Oregon.
Wow. What a burst he is.
Well, the Beavers were trying a safety blitz from the right side. As soon as you see that, you know they're going to be thin up the middle, man to man. If you get that middle linebacker, number 38 block, there's nobody else there initially to make that play. That's a real nice play to do against a blitz.
Oh, and not only against the blitz, but just a great job of blocking as you look at big yardage already.
Well, last week, McCullough held to 69 yards by Arizona State. You see the Ducks in the red zone. And we have movement. Rectorfield and Blake Spence. That's a great matchup, isn't it? Those two guys going after it.
And really, Todd, we've seen many times this fall, the Ducks get down in this situation and just what happened. You know, you get a penalty, an offside, turnover. They have not been real proficient inside the 20 this year.
On the offense. First down.
Those free shots that the defensive players took right there at the Ducks. They started the Civil War a little bit early right there.
See Blake Spence, the tight end on the left side, and Breckerfield lets everybody know that there should be a penalty called. So it'll be 1st and 15 for Oregon with 6 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
And Breckerfield thanked him after that shot.
See the Beavers defensively giving up scores 24 of 30 times. There's the inside counter play to McCullough. Bouncing, weaving, spinning. We're seeing the whole package here today, folks. What a tremendous touchdown run by Saladin McCullough of 14 yards. Making 19 yards. He actually probably ran about 60 yards in the course of the run. And wow.
Did you see all the linemen trying to catch up to him to hug him?
What a run.
They caught the Beavers again in a blitz from the outside and the right. Leaves you vulnerable in the middle. It's a trap play. You see Weber, number 74, didn't even have to block his guy. He overran it. Then this is all just second effort by Saladin and a lot of arm tackling by the Beavers.
5 missed tackles. Arm tackling you can't do against this guy. Boy, is he a back.
I mentioned Weber. That was Michael Clues on the trap block.
So Franco had his first point after block. This one is true. And Oregon extends this lead to 13-3. Saladin McCullough. There are a lot of good backs around the country, but there aren't many better, if any, than this guy.
Life, it can be difficult. You know that. We all need someone to rely on. Someone that's gonna be there. Someone that's gonna make you feel like you belong. Someone constant. It's ecstasy, anguish, joy, and despair. It's a part of our history, a part of our country, and it will be a part of our future. It's theater, art, love, and war. It should be predictable, but never is. It's a feeling that can't be explained, but we spend our life explaining it. It's our religion. We don't apologize for it. We do not deny it. They're our team, our family, our life. Your home teams. We know how you feel about them, because we feel the same.
Here, Beavers are blitzing from the left side of the screen, and it's not going to matter. You see Michael Clue, 74, didn't even have to block his guy. He was going upfield on the pass rush. And now, watch this as he just makes those Oregon State defenders look bad. You know, I'm sure they're a lot better than that look, because this guy is tough to corral. He is very difficult to tackle one-on-one.
Onside kick attempt recovered by Oregon State.
Well, the Beavers tried this a couple of weeks ago against Arizona. Tried to take advantage in a situation to put someone away, help them, and it didn't work for the Beavers. And right there, it didn't work for the Ducks.
Brandon Boyce, a young man from Gold Beach, Oregon, with the recovery for Oregon State.
And Mike Bellotti can choose to do this because he has two things. Faith in his defense, and he feels that Oregon State's offense is a little bit limited. He can go for it and take the gamble.
You're right. Absolutely right.
So the Beavers with great field position at the Oregon 45-yard line. Fake the counter, Alexander on the roll. Downfield, ball is caught, first down, bumped out of bounds. Robert Prescott with a reception to the Oregon 31.
That's the staple of this Beaver offense, the sprint out or the bootleg. You see Tim's out here. He is a guy who can put so much pressure on a defense once he gets outside. The bootleg gives him a little bit opportunity, more so than the sprint the last several weeks. His defensive ends and backs have just continued to blitz from the outside.
Prescott with 18 receptions on the season. The inside counter play. And there's some yardage there on first down by Dan Richards. They pick up almost 5 yards. Let's give him 4 to the 27-yard line.
You talk about the bootleg, and the thing is, when Tim Alexander gets outside successfully and is a threat to run, that's going to help the Oregon State receivers, because the guys covering them have still got to be alert to coming up and containing the quarterback.
And if he does run, it's scary. He can score from anywhere on the field.
Off tackle, Dandridge, nice cut there. He gets about 3 yards before Desmond Bird knocks him down. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for Oregon State.
First start ever for Jason Dandridge, and he's earned it. He's worked real hard.
3rd down, about 3.
In the spring, he was a defensive back. He'd been there for 2 years. He walked over to the offensive side of the ball in drills and said, "I want to try it. I want to be an I-back." And he's been there ever since.
3rd and 3. Looks like an early movement by Oregon State. I think it was the right guard, DiDomenico, the young freshman, I think got an early jump.
Oregon State with 2 true freshmen, DiDomenico and Maurer
Dead
starting.
Ball. Full start on the offense, 5 yards.
As well as first start for Robert Sykes, a redshirt freshman. All those people have tremendous talent and will play a long time. You see him the left guard there, 79. Right guard, excuse me.
From Sprague High School.
Well, I could see where you'd be a little anxious when you got to come down on block on Desmond Bird. That's even if you get him, that's about 310 pounds falling down on you.
I don't know whether I'd be anxious. I think it's slow to get off the ball.
3rd and 8 for Oregon State. The ball marked at the 28 of Oregon. Out of the shotgun. There's the draw, and it goes nowhere. Boy, the Ducks smelled that one out. Saul, Patu, and Garth White got there right about when the ball did.
Ducks have had a lot of success today when they have blitzed. As Oregon State has been burned, the Ducks have been successful.
Well, based on the leg of Cortez, as we see the play again, you know, you'd think they'd try a field goal here because his last one would have been good from here. But the Beavers are a little indecisive right now. It looks like they're going to go for it. 4th and 12.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at this. Jose does have that kind of leg, but, you know, Mike Riley feels like he's got to create some opportunities for the Beavers. Just has to try something different.
And now the Beavers disorganized. They don't have the right players in. In fact, they might not even have enough guys on the field.
Only had 10 players as Ainsworth came running off.
Yeah, that 10 players, 4th and 13 is a tough one to make up, isn't it? Well, the Ducks lead, but the Beavers have the ball. Well, is this the perfect match? For one of these two teams, it will be today. You look at the rushing yardage for Oregon State, 10th, the rushing defense for Oregon, 10th, passing. You know, it seems to be the matchup where somebody should have an advantage.
Could be a lot of assistant coaches on both teams looking for jobs.
4th and 13. Here comes the blitz. Dietrich Moore hits Alexander. Ball is up for grabs and deflected by Jaya Figueres. And I mean, Dietrich Moore put a lick on Tim Alexander just as he released the football.
Tim has taken some shots this year. I'm sure many times a lot more punishment than he took running the option a year ago and the year before that. Wow.
Takes a lot of courage to stand in there like this. You watch, he knows he's going to get hit, and he's standing in there trying to get the ball off.
Plants his feet and lets it go. Boy, big hit.
Yeah, at least running the option, you have an idea where the hits are coming from. As a quarterback at that blind side, a lot of times you don't.
Oregon State did not try the field goal, as you mentioned. He's got the leg. Cortez could certainly kick it that far. He, like many soccer kickers, has had a tendency to hook the long ball.
So Oregon gets a pretty good field position here, taking over on downs. Saladin McCullough, stretch play. Kind of just mushes out about 4 yards.
There's a situation.
There's a late flag there as Eric Wynn got into it with somebody on that Oregon State sideline.
A lot of finger pointing going on down there. There was a situation where the corner for Oregon State.
Now we have more flags. And they can't throw any more flags because they're all on the field.
Well, somebody said something at the end that brought a couple of them out quick.
It's interesting, Todd. You know, you spend all this week getting your team fired up for the game, and now you're here saying, hey, calm down, fellas.
Well, teams have a tendency to get riled up for this thing. I guess coaches would like.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Both of them are dead ball fouls. The first one's personal foul against the defense. That's 15 yards. The second one is unsportsmanlike conduct by the defense. That's tacked on to 15 yards. First down.
Wow. 30 yards in penalties. anyway, getting back to what I was mentioning, coaches want their teams to play with controlled emotion, not just unbridled emotion.
Well, there's no question with that. And a lot of times in these situations, 30 yards, takes the heart out of a defense. But in situations like this, so many times it's the second guy that gets caught. It'd be interesting if we could take a look at this. But, you lose your head on the sideline, you throw a punch, and then certainly the second one was just a bunch of Beaver players complaining and getting on some officials, and it cost them another 15. So not smart.
Yep, 1st and 10 at the 32. McCullough again to the outside. Gets a couple of nice blocks on the corner there. Patrick Johnson trying to help out. And McCullough tippy-toes his way out of bounds and then runs into the equipment trunk.
We saw Seton Daly, number 68, out in front of Saladin McCullough. Normally a center. He's been moved to right guard. He looked very good on that play, Todd. One of the more mobile offensive linemen for the Ducks.
Well, the Ducks have lost a couple of offensive linemen as well this year to injuries. David Weber and, of course, Lee Gundy, original starters, gone.
We heard Daly at Duck Club a couple weeks ago. If he doesn't make it as a football player, I think he's got a stand-up comedy career ahead of him.
He'd be great on the banquet circuit. Inside trap play to McCullough. Wow, holding on for dear life is Oregon State. But you can see McCullough, I mean, he can spin, he can put on the speed, he can give you the power run, a little bit of everything.
The way he takes those feet away, he must have very small feet.
Well, you can see he is trying to become the first Oregon back to average over 100 yards per game in a career.
It amazes me looking at his statistics that he's got so many career things going and he's only played 2 years, 17 games. It's astonishing to me.
That's how good he is. And he has enjoyed his stay in Eugene. His mother and his young son are in attendance today. His son celebrated his 4th birthday 2 weeks ago. Keely Smith trying to get that quarterback sneak in the first down, and it will be close. Guy asked Saladin McCullough 2 weeks ago after the victory in Washington if the victory was his birthday present to his young son. He said, no, I don't think so. He wants toys. And let's see if they bring out the sticks. It's close.
Interesting call. I was kind of expecting them to throw the ball on that, 3rd and inches, feeling like it's kind of a gimme. The Beavers showed right there it's not necessarily a gimme.
Jim Fogeltantz, the referee today, he's been busy already.
You can keep track of Oregon men's and women's basketball games.
This Oregon State defensive line missing 2 people early on, Alex Sawatsky, Bob McCain, 2 JC transfers who were very stable, older kids. See the first down. They stayed right in their positions. They were real character guys, and they were part of a rotation that involved 8 or 9 people.
And there is one of our really good friends, Jim Coyne. It's his last game, folks, as a Pac-10 umpire. We made a remark about him liking pizza the past couple of years. He sent us up pizza. We're going to miss you, Jim. We're going to miss that pizza, but we're going to miss you more.
1st and 10 for Oregon. Keely Smith to throw the out pattern. Tony Hartley is wide open. Touchdown, Oregon. Tony Hartley, a 21-yard touchdown reception. His 5th touchdown of the season.
Well, a complete blown coverage by the Beavers. Down here, Ken, they play a matchup man, they call it, and it's a combination clear across the field. It's very, very difficult. The free safety and the strong safety in this case are picking up different people. You see right there, Terrence Carroll had to get over there, and he's instead looking at a back on the inside or else a tight end. You can see it right here on the left of the screen. He's covering the tight end who's already covered. That's the free safety's coverage.
Exactly, and you can see him turn his head there at the last second. I think he realized I spent way too much time looking at A.J. Jelks, and I should have been over there in the corner.
Josh Frankel 1 for 2 on extra points today. The first one was blocked. Josh Bidwell, the holder, and this one is true. So Oregon, after taking over on downs, takes the ball down the field with a couple of personal foul penalties against the Beavers as well. And we have one again on the field, taking advantage of those penalties to get the touchdown pass of Keely Smith to Tony Hartley. And we had flags thrown on the point after. Well, this thing all got started in the pregame warm-ups, guys. The Ducks were out there. The whole team was stretched out in their warm-up formation, and Some of the Beavers just came right through the formation and words were exchanged.
Well, Mike Riley has tried all week to get the
Personal
Beavers.
foul. Maybe 15 yards on it.
So the penalty against Oregon on the kickoff. Tony Hartley with a touchdown. Oregon extends its lead to 20-3. Weeknights at 6:30, Fox Sports brings you an early edition of Fox Sports News. The stories and scores from across the board. The NBA, NHL, NFL, and of course, the college bowl races. Then later at 10 o'clock, see scores and highlights from the day's games. Weeknights at 6:30 and 10. Well, the personal foul against Oregon on the extra point means that Rashamani will have to tee it up at his own 20.
And both Oregon and Oregon State are learning the hard way what 15-yard penalties can do to field position.
Well, certainly 30 yards in a series like the last drive for the Ducks, I mean, that's hard to get back. Certainly hurt the Beavers, and they got to be a little more poised than that.
8 penalties already in the first half. Monty will kick it deep. Armand Hatcher just takes it right up the field to the 45. So second straight possession in which the Beavers have had good field position, but we do have another flag at the Oregon 34.
Wow. A lot of talking after every play.
I'm not sure Oregon State had all 5 of their front guys close enough to the restraining line.
Penalty flag on the field.
Heartburn.
That's against
Heartburn,
Oregon.
5 yards.
Or Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, one or the other.
So the Beavers will have the option.
I don't think I've ever seen that signal, Todd.
Illegal participation.
Well, right here, the Beavers, in my opinion, the Beavers take the ball. It's great field position. You don't take the chance in knocking it deep and having something happen.
Of course, now that means there's 12 guys on the field.
Substitution foul against the kicking team. The penalty refused. Be first down.
If the guy is trying to get off the field, it's usually a 5-yard penalty. If he's actually participating, if they had 10 guys out there, it'd be another 15 yards.
So the Beavers will decline the penalty, take the field position at the 45. We're still in the first quarter. 1 minute, 47 seconds to go. Oregon leading 20-3, and you can see the penalties that have been accepted. That last one was refused. Motion man is Prescott. Try the run again. Boy, and as you mentioned, Steve, they're having a rough time running the football. Prior to that play, Oregon State had -4 yards rushing in 8 attempts.
Well, the sacks continue to haunt them. They take off whatever they get, but they do not, at the point of attack, have the kind of running game yet. They need people. They need experience. These 3 young kids playing today have got to have some time under their belt and some time in the weight room under their belt.
Well, you can see the rushing disparity between the 2 teams early.
And when they get into a situation like 20-3, the Beavers simply have to score some points or it could be a runaway.
Lazatich, the half motion. Alexander to throw, overthrows. Ball was intended for Greg Ainsworth, leading receiver for Oregon State with 47 on the year, but has failed to get the ball into the end zone.
Tim has not been as accurate today as he has been for the season so far. He has been an accurate passer when given any kind of time and any kind of opening, but he's overthrown a couple of people already.
Well, every offensive coach would like to get his quarterback in a rhythm, and that early fumble and a sack, I think, put Alexander back on his heels a little bit.
Alexander throwing at a 48% completion percentage this year. Second down. Slant over the middle, right on the numbers, and Robert Prescott couldn't hold it.
You got to make those plays. That ball's caught, and it's close to a first down at least. He's got a couple more strides, and he's right there. You can't make those plays.
Watch this throw. It's going to stick him right in the face mask almost. Perfect pass.
Wow.
Prescott more disappointed about not catching the ball than the hit after he missed it. So Fessler to boot it away. His first one was a fortuitous play for Oregon State when the ball bounced and hit Kevin Parker in the back. Oregon State recovered, and that led to their only points, a field goal. Saul Patu blocked it. Recovered by Oregon at the Beaver 35. Second time the Ducks have blocked a punt this year.
I don't even think the block comes from a man who was trying to block the punt. It looked like a spy man. Oregon was set up in a prevent defense to check against the run, and he just comes running through. Look at the left.
Yeah, he was really a check man.
Well, two guys over him. One went inside, one went out, and they let him go, assuming maybe he's going to drop back. You know, you see these guys pointing before the snap. That is definitely a blocking mess up on the left-hand side of Oregon State's punt formation.
Don't you think that that was just an alert player defensively who saw nobody touch him? And
that's right. He was probably in a position where he's expected to be blocked. No one there.
Well, the last blocked punt by the Ducks was a couple of weeks ago against the Huskies. Saladin McCullough to the outside of crease 30, down to the 26-yard line. Well, Saladin McCullough is approaching the 100-yard mark. I think with that carry there, he would have about 91.
Right now, the Ducks have got a great combination with number 68, Seton Daly, and number 28, Saladin McCullough, running in tandem. Daly has the ability to turn it up or bounce it outside. In that situation, he bounced it outside. He's showing a lot of mobility coming off that bad ankle.
See Daly, the gray beard up front today for Oregon. There's the toss to McCullough. Looks like he wants to throw. Great brush. Back behind a defender, Armand Hatcher, and it was overthrown. Remember, Saladin McCullough threw a pass against Arizona in the season opener, a big play early in that contest. And now he's 1 for 2, and that passing efficiency is going to plummet.
He just got knocked out of the passing efficiency lead, and that's a pretty good job of standing in there, too, and taking a hit. But he just a little bit too much arm. You know, a lot of times those running backs, they underthrow it.
He didn't.
He did not.
So that'll set up 3rd and 1. 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We give it to the fullback, Eric Wynn, kind of weaving his way for about 3 yards. He has the first down, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. Well, the Ducks dominated in the first half and also took advantage of some Oregon State mistakes. And at the end of the first period of play from Autzen Stadium, Oregon 20, Oregon State 3. 15. Comes the option. Akili Smith will keep it. Tried to hurdle, and when you get around the goal line there, when you hurdle, people pick up a lot of ground in a hurry. He got only about a yard.
I mentioned in the last series that the Beavers had a ton of juniors coming back. As we look at this, this is the option, just the speed option. I know what that is. I've called it for the last 6 years. But at any rate, I think I mentioned incorrectly that the Beavers are not are bringing all their people back defensively. They lose some fine seniors, Elahi, McAtee, several. Number 2, Larry Bumpus.
4 wideouts for Oregon. Smith to throw the out pattern, topped by Parker. 5. Kevin Parker diving forward to the 2-yard line. That will be a little bit short of the first down.
Well, it's interesting, Todd. I've noticed Oregon State kind of laying back a little bit, not coming after the Ducks as they did in the first 2 series. When you're undersized on defense, you're really caught between a rock and a hard spot, between going after people and trying to make things happen, or trying to deal with their strength, their advantage up front, and trying to react to things. And that was a play where they tried to react and they just couldn't make the play.
3rd and 1 for Oregon inside the 2-yard line. Keely Smith lost the ball, recovered by the Beavers. This is returnable. Larry Bumpus has it. Big play by the Oregon State defense.
Interesting that you call a play like that and not just hand it to number 28.
I have never understood why you take a chance with a quarterback as opposed to someone with forward momentum, Kenny. You said it very well, let alone that you got a guy like 28 right there.
Well, you can see he stood up. The Beavers did a nice job of standing up both guards in the center for the Ducks. And, boy, if Akili doesn't get a hand on the ankle there, Beavs might have taken it all the way the other way.
I think Terrence Carroll came in and popped that ball loose from Akili Smith.
Yeah, I think...
Well, there's Larry Bumpus, the guy who tore his knee apart on Tuesday. He said he was going to play, even though he's going to have surgery as soon as the season's over.
Alexander to roll. Peter Sermon in pursuit, and Alexander tippy-toes out of bounds after a gain of about 3 yards, out past the 10 to the 11-yard line.
rarely have teams let Tim get outside, so he had a choice of running and throwing. It's been amazing that after a first couple of games, everyone realized you've got to blitz from the outside to get Tim Alexander to pull up.
So the Beavers dodged a giant bullet moments ago, trying to get out of this deep hole. They were here moments ago and had to punt without getting a first down. Counter play. Dandridge has a hole in a seam, and he's off to the races. He has great speed. Michael Fletcher in pursuit. 45-50. Oregon territory at the 48-yard line. And a late flag as well at the 50.
And there's another late flag, and it happened between Tompkins coming downfield and a defensive lineman. I don't know whether there's a call on a block late. Didn't even look like there was contact. Look at this. This is the lead, actually the lead draw. Nice blocks, and look at the acceleration there. Jason was a track man in high school, got very, very good speed, the fastest of the Beaver tailbacks.
Michael Fletcher, a former high school quarterback, runs him down from behind, but the flag will be against Oregon State.
This is the fourth personal foul type of penalty for the Beavers.
Personal
60
foul.
yards.
Against the offense, 15 from the flag. And first down.
So this is not only the 15 yards because of the flag, but it's also an additional 7 or 8 yards from the run as well.
Absolutely, just been huge. That's nearly 70 yards and 4 penalties. You see Mike Riley, he cannot believe that this is going on with the penalty situation.
Well, and it's uncharacteristic of the Beavers this year. They're fourth best in the league in penalties, only about 70 yards per game, and now they're at 75. Take the counter, Alexander on the roll. He's got a man wide open and he could not make the connection with Greg Ainsworth.
Wide open, you're exactly right. Two people out there being covered by one man. Him overthrows him a long ways. Ainsworth's a pleasant surprise. He got to school this fall. Did both Ainsworth and Battle, two junior college receivers, came in without spring practice and have worked themselves in there. The number 2 and 3 receivers for the Beavers.
Ainsworth only needs one more reception to move into the single season top 10 for Oregon State. Second down and 10. Back to Dandridge. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He's managed to eke out maybe a half a yard. Garrett Sable in there, a true freshman, along with Chris Vanderveer, young linebacker out of Lebanon, Oregon. So it'll be third down and long for Oregon State with under 7 minutes to go in the first half. Ainsworth split to the near side. James Battle to the far side. Lazatich will try to come back to the neat side. Alexander, this ball is a floater and thrown out of bounds. Hit as he threw the ball. Saul Patu with pressure on the quarterback. And that pass really was thrown into double coverage as the corner Rashad Bowman and the free safety Jaya Figueres had double coverage.
Only one receiver even out into the pattern on the left side of the field. Ran a curl to the right, but great pressure right there.
See Saul Patu, number 48, who had blocked that punt. I think he's got a pretty good future as a pass rusher, Todd.
Playing at about 240 pounds, only a redshirt freshman. So Fessler to punt the ball. And Oregon State at least got it out of the shadows of their own goalpost. End over ender. Patrick Johnson fields at the 32. Runs to the near sideline and out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So Oregon with possession of the football, leading 20-3. Oregon with possession of the ball at their own 42-yard line. Akili Smith to throw. The out pattern is intercepted. Brian Rogers unable to maintain his balance, but he does have the pick at the Oregon 36.
Well, he makes a great play here, but once again, what we said earlier, the Beavers have had so many opportunities. Drop it, just miss it. You see right there, he's got a chance to score with this after he makes a great play. Great play right there, and nothing to make him fall, and he certainly does. Just amazing how these little things have continued to happen. But he's a big-time player.
You bet. And if I were Oregon, I think I would just kind of concentrate and see how many times Saladin could carry the ball without getting tired.
That wouldn't be a very hard decision, would it?
When they've gone to the pass, particularly on first down, it has not been to their advantage.
Third turnover of the day for Oregon. They've done a good job in that category last half of the season. Alexander to throw, and he overthrows a wide open receiver at the 34-yard line, Roddy Tompkins.
Well, Tim is not setting his feet when he's throwing the ball. He's throwing from looking the other direction, whirling around. That's fourth or fifth time. He's just been high.
That's not the look of a confident quarterback right there. He looks like he's kind of upset, probably at himself.
Well, he has done what they've asked of him this year. They came in, the new staff, and said, Tim, we're going to put the ball in your hands. You've earned the job. 1 for 10. Wow. He's had some very good days throwing the football. Today so far is not one of them.
Had a real good day against Arizona a couple of weeks back. Second down and 10. There's that counter trade to Dandridge. Into the secondary. He might go the distance. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Oregon State.
What it's like to have speed from the tailback position.
And I think he caught the Ducks by surprise when he headed for the sideline. There were a couple guys looking like they thought they could catch him, but he put it in overdrive.
Well, you take a look here. It's a draw play. Again, one of the nice blocking by the Beavers. And look at Robert Prescott on the outside, 82. Got just enough of the cornerback to make it a foot race. And Jason Dandridge is the fastest Beaver tailback.
And so the point after is good. And with 5:53 to go in the second quarter, the Beavers get their first touchdown of the day and trail Oregon 20-10. Well, here's what speed can do for you.
Well, not only speed, but watch the effort. He leaps over, hurdles over the top of the pile, makes a big play there. The Beavers have not had many of these kind of efforts out of the tailback position. Deshaun Williams, Ricky Walker, both hurt after the first 4 games of the season. This is a good sign for the Beavers.
That was a lot of good blocking on that play, Steve, because it was a very deep developing play. We saw 3 key blocks there, but a lot of the other guys kept down the penetration that the Oregon defense has had at times today. That was very well executed offensive football play.
Well, you mentioned a key point. It takes a long time to run this Beaver running game. Everything's draw or out of a draw counter type of look, and it just takes a long time for those linemen to have to hold on to a defensive lineman.
And so the kickoff, a squib kick to the near sideline and out of bounds, and Oregon can take it at the 35-yard line. Dandridge now, Jason Dandridge, 11 carries, 78 yards, and the touchdown.
Jose doesn't like to kick that ball out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds against the kicking team. The penalty is accepted. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line.
Well, actually, that was really a 98-yard drive punctuated by an interception in between, really.
Yeah, the Ducks were at the 2-yard line and fumbled the ball. And in the ensuing possessions, they end up with the touchdown the Beavers do. And Jason Moss in at quarterback, replacing Akili Smith. Moss has not played in the last 2 games, and he's going to get pressure from the backside. Throws the ball, caught by Blake Spence. First down right at the midfield stripe. And Blake Spence has now caught a pass in 25 consecutive games.
Accurate passer. Puts it right in the middle of about 3 guys.
You see the streak by Blake Spence. Had only 1 reception last week against Arizona State.
Well, there's a play-action pass. The Beavers run this against the Ducks, and it works just as well the other way. Although Moss is hardly the running threat that Alexander is.
See his numbers, 55%. The Ducks with 2 players, 2 quarterbacks, throwing for more than 1,000 yards for the second consecutive year. McCullough on the carry, bumped out of bounds, but a flag, and it looks like a hold against Oregon.
Well, a holder, it's a face mask. I'm not sure that Holland didn't touch the face mask at a 5-yard type.
Holding against Oregon.
I'm glad I'm wrong a lot.
Well, the Oregon offense is doing a lot of things right now to keep this game close.
I haven't seen this many penalties all year against the Beavers.
Offense, 10 yards from the spot of foul. Repeat the down.
The last time I saw this many penalties, I was watching a hockey game.
Well, Mike Bellatti's team jumped out to a 20-3 lead, in control of the ball game, had a great opportunity to extend that and maybe put it away, but a fumble at the 2-yard line by Keely Smith, and then an ensuing touchdown run off of an interception put the Beavers right back into the game. Moss to throw, ball is caught. Tony Hartley, and he picks up about 6 yards. It'll be second down and 13 for Oregon.
Jason Moss really looks confident, Todd. He's dropping back, looking to the right side. He does a great job of looking off safeties and allowing his wide receivers time downfield to get open and work just against the corners.
There were a lot of teams in the country that would love to have a backup quarterback, or a number 2 quarterback, maybe I should say, like Jason Moss. He's been a starter several times this season. They're going to roll him out again. Flush looking for Hartley. Is it a reception and a fumble? Incomplete pass is the ruling. Well, the Beavers have been outstanding today in forcing turnovers. They have created 3, 2 of which have led to scores, a touchdown and a field goal.
And they've been outstanding all year. Only 2 games have they lost that battle. As you see, the nice throw right there and a nice strip. Ooh, was that caught?
That was close.
Sure very close to a fumble.
I want you guys to say that so it was impartial. Now the ref blew it. No. At any rate, the Beavers have been very strong turnovers all season. They're +4 for the season, including a -4 the last 2 games.
3rd and 13. Beavers showing pressure. Here they come. Moss just floats this one out there, intended for Ray Brust. He got turned around, incomplete, and the pressure applied up front by Brian Rogers forced Moss to throw it early.
Coverage by Bashir Ilahi, a freshman All-American 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. He will be missed. He plays that corner, also plays the free safety. Look at from the outside. You see Rogers fighting through a block. Good hurry.
You can also see what leverage does for a pass rusher like Brechterfield. He has good leverage on Michael Clues, who outweighs him by about 50 pounds. So it did well to boot it away. The last time he punted, the Ducks were able to down it at the 2-yard line. Oh, this is a haymaker. And that was about 5 yards too far. What a punt by Josh Bidwell. 54 yards, but the Beavers have the ball back when we come back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rick Riz inviting you to join the Mariners in sunny Peoria, Arizona. And the best way for you to get there is to sign up for a Spring Training Tours travel package. Each package includes 3, 5, or 7-night stays, preferred game tickets, an exclusive post-game barbecue, and much more. And new for '98, the Fox Sports Kids Camp, an on-field interactive clinic for kids under 18. For all the details, call the AT&T Mariners fan phone at 1-800-MY-MARINERS. And we'll see you in Arizona this spring.
Hi, this is Dan Wilson. The Mariners join Fox Sports Northwest in wishing you a happy holiday season.
Jim Rome, LA Sports Radio shock jock.
I think it's out-and-out racism.
Wallace Matthew, New York Post print prophet.
Boxing is like the cockroach of sports.
Sports talk for the fearless. The Last Word premieres midnight, January 5th.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 4:23 remaining, second quarter. The Beavers within 10. Slant pass, it is incomplete. And no flag. Good coverage over the top by Eric Edwards on Greg Ainsworth. The Beaver fans in that east end zone screaming for pass interference.
Looks like a pretty good play by the defensive back. That's the 4th time that play's been run. It's the first time Tim has put the ball where he's supposed to. Well, I know what that was they're supposed to. It was a little bit high.
But let's face it, we've seen that play 6 times this year, and 3 times it's been interference. 3 times it hasn't.
2nd and 10 for Oregon State. Here's the play they used for the touchdown, and this time Dandridge has to bounce outside because of great penetration by Terry Miller, the defensive left end. That's a loss of about 7 yards.
This is an interesting part of the Oregon State offense it's worth talking about, because their running game, or excuse me, their passing game is built on the sprint out. This situation, 3rd and long, is nearly impossible for the Beavers. They don't have the kind of a passing game yet, but they will next year. That's what they'll get to, is a full field passing game.
Ducks lucky they weren't called for tripping there. That's a penalty.
Alexander, secondary receiver, incomplete. And Ainsworth took a pop from Eric Edwards. So that stops the clock. Oregon State was unable to run clock in that possession. And so Oregon will get it back with 3+ minutes to go in the half.
Great pressure again by the Ducks defensive line.
So Mike Fessler, who's struggled today, back at his own goal line, and Patrick Johnson has yet to break a long punt return this year. And this one will roll to the near side, and Johnson will let it bounce once, twice, picks it up, and is tackled on good coverage by Oregon State at the 45-yard line. The big news is no flags.
Well, that's one of the Beavers headhunters right there, Brian Rayburn, true freshman, big play guy.
Where in the world can you find in-depth sports news and information about your teams? The evolution of sports television. Fox Sports Northwest Tonight, a nightly sports news and feature show with more input from regional experts on the scene in more places around the Northwest than you've ever seen before. And bringing it all together is a sports anchor who knows the territory, knows the teams, and knows what you're looking for. Fox Sports Northwest Tonight, Monday through Friday at 7. Fox Sports Northwest shines its brightest when it highlights special events that bring you closer to home teams with Fox attitude. Whether you're looking for championship form, playoff excitement, tournament action, all-star performances, or events too unique to be part of a series, look to Fox Sports Northwest.
Join us for an encore presentation of the high-scoring Beaverton and McNary OSAA 4A football championship game Tuesday, December 30th at 11 a.m.
Tune in Monday through Friday nights at 7 o'clock for Fox Sports Northwest Tonight. News and highlights from the Northwest high school, collegiate, and professional sports scene. Weeknights at 7 only on Fox Sports Northwest. Saladin McCullough breaks into the secondary a little bit, but it closes fast. A gain of about 4 yards. McCullough now with over 100 yards rushing today and 1 touchdown. And Ken, you made a point moments ago about maybe sticking with something that has been working good. You can see the career rushing. And now Saladin is up to number 7 on the all-time list.
If I were the Ducks, I'd try to have Saladin catch Donnie Reynolds today. Let's see if he can do it.
I got to keep you in this booth, don't I? Not the one down the hall.
2nd down and 6 for Moss and company. The out pattern caught by Patrick Johnson, breaks 1 tackle, and then he's downed it right there. So it'll be a 1st down for Oregon, stops the clock. Brian Jones, the official tackle.
Anytime the Ducks have gone to straight drop back, the Beavers have been able to get pressure. Watch the shot that Jason Moss takes here, right? Boom! They've had to move him on the bootleg several times, and I'd say that's a tribute to the pass pressure that the Beavers have been able to generate so far.
And it seems it's number 56 about 90% of the time today. What a day he's having.
That's that edge principle that Rich Stubler tried to incorporate for Oregon a year ago. The Beavers using it with Breckerfield. Moss has time this time, throws deep for Spence and overthrown, and Moss got hit as he released the football again.
Well, tell me what the edge principle is.
Well, it's pressure off the edge instead of up the middle.
Theoretically.
Todd, I thought it was just a heck of a pass rush from the outside.
And once again,
I don't believe it.
We have got to give thanks to Jim Coyne. He has just sent up a pizza again.
I didn't really believe this happened. I thought, I want to make sure that isn't Ken's handwriting on the card.
Second down and 10 for Oregon. They give it back to McCullough. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2.
Guess who?
Brechter Field again.
5'11", 242, folks. And does he play? Jim Lambright said earlier in the year that that guy could play at Washington or play anywhere, and I believe him.
Yeah, he said he's a guy that he'd love to have. There's a lot of people that would like to have that guy. He's in double digits for tackles for losses this year. A couple of caused fumbles, a couple of recovered fumbles, a little bit of everything. 3rd and 12. Moss on a half roll this time. Looking deep back across the field to Patrick Johnson. And he's got it. Touchdown. How did he take it away from Larry Bumpus?
Wow. There's great separation at the end. I don't know whether this is completely legal or not, but he did a heck of a job, Ken.
That pass went over 60 yards in the air. Looked like the Oregon State defender just went up a little bit too early, misjudged it.
If we see it at the end, watch the separation. I want to see if there's a good bump by the receiver, and I think it's just good football if there is. Let's take a look here.
Wow.
Yeah, great play.
That was a great catch, just barely out in front of the defender. What a bomb. That is what you call a bomb.
Just a huge, huge play right there. The Beavers at 20-10 have to feel like, hey, they're coming back. Some good things have happened. And now a bomb like that really puts it in sad state for the halftime.
It takes a little starch out of the Beavers' comeback. Patrick Johnson with his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. Jason Moss, his 14th touchdown pass of the season.
This just in, football legend William Refrigerator Perry is returning to the NFL. They're working out the contract details at this very moment.
Okay, Fridge, here's our demands. 3 submarine sandwiches for every sack.
3 submarine sandwiches for every sack.
Box of cupcakes for every
and a box of cupcakes for every hurry.
And 2 deep dish pizzas for every tackle.
Fridge, you want to be legit, you got to get the double cheese and the anchovies.
Good point, baby. Man, those guys are good.
Ow.
With the Glow Puck, we revolutionized the game of hockey. This got us thinking, why couldn't we apply this breakthrough technology to other sports? We tried Glow Arm Wrestling, the Glow Dog Show, and perhaps our greatest success, competitive Glow Chess. As an inventor, I see the impossible, and then I tell the impossible, I can't see you.
It's a place filled with history, rich in color, with a solid foundation in what makes Oregon great. It's a place to learn, to grow, and to challenge what has come before. A place with a long tradition in research and discovery that has changed the way we all live. At Oregon State University, we equip students to change the shape of things to come with a blend of exceptional academic programs and outstanding research opportunities. The future is now, and you can find it at Oregon State University.
Well, the bomb moments ago, Jason Moss to Patrick Johnson. Notice how they rolled him away from Brechter Field to get away from the pressure. And then let's watch Johnson here.
It's up there a long time.
Wow. Great throw and catch.
And that really isn't that bad a defense either.
Very good defense. Especially against a guy with that kind of speed.
Well, Patrick Johnson made the remarkable catch against Washington 2 weeks ago to win that game. And today, kickoff return and 2 touchdown receptions. And now Patrick has moved up to number 11. He's 1 away from breaking into the top 10. I saw Josh Wilcox today. That's not Josh, by the way. Nor is that Josh on the end of the string. But, of course, Josh, a professional wrestler now and all-time leading receiver from the tight end position for Oregon.
I got to be honest, I don't really care for that. I went up to the Husky game two weeks ago, and there's a guy who does that, and he pulls the mascot open, and all the feathers come out. It's just, it's taking it a little bit too far, I think.
Frankel to boot it off, trying to angle it to the far sideline, and he kicks it out of bounds. So the Beavers will set up shop at the 35.
penalty flag on the play.
1 minute and 33 seconds left in the first half. You see the total yards in the ball game. Oregon State. This is kind of contrary to what their seasonal statistics would be. They've actually got more yards rushing today than passing, and much of that, the 35 yards, half of it on one touchdown run by Jason Dandridge.
Well, the Beavers offense has just not been productive the last several weeks. 152 in total offense a week ago, 253, 207, 210 in the weeks before that. They've just got to get something going. The running game is better today than it has been in weeks, but the passing game has looked horrible.
Yeah, they've averaged only 205 yards per game in the last 4 weeks offensively. Alexander on a quarterback draw. He's got about 7 yards. Clock continues to run. The Beavers have 2 timeouts left. Well, next year Alexander may be receiving balls. The talk has been that maybe he'll be moved to wide receiver next year.
Well, take a look here. This is the draw. Beavers have a good hole right there. Boy, you see one missed block. Then he runs into Perez. But if the block is made right there, he has a long way to go. Now run.
He will, and he'll head out of bounds. He will be very close to the sticks, and a flag by Garrett Sable on a late hit. That'll be 15 yards, and will give the Beavers a first down at the Oregon 40.
Well, you see Mike Riley jump right into that right after it happens. Beavers on the sideline getting into the play. You know, it's clear it's against Oregon. You don't need to make something stupid happen after that from the sideline.
Dead ball, personal foul against the defense, late hit out of bounds, 15, first down.
Right now, Oregon is not acting like a team that placed the second most amount of guys on the all-academic Pac-10 team. That's a terrible lack of judgment there.
We've seen a lot of that today. Both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Some undisciplined football. 14 penalties. Wow.
And they've all been field position penalties, too.
So first down. Alexander on a roll. He's got a man. And Edwards bangs Ainsworth out of bounds at the 35. Ainsworth pops right back out of that sea of green on the sideline. Gain of 5 on first down. The clock stopped with 46 seconds to go in the half. And now the clock runs. They say that he was shoved out of bounds, that the tackle officially credited inbounds.
Give me a break.
Yeah, I wonder about that myself. And now the Beavers are confused, and the clock is running. They've lost 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds. And I'll be honest with you.
This is ridiculous.
I think Oregon State was robbed on that call. I mean, he was bumped out of bounds.
I don't know what you guys think of the officiating, but I think the officiating in the Pac-10 has been the worst I've ever seen it this year. I have no idea. I mean, the guy's got to get some credit for running the football. Come on. They don't even try to tackle him in bounds. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is. I was just going to comment, Steve, 2 years ago when the Ducks went to the Cotton Bowl and the Beavers were attempting to move the ball in the latter stages of the game. They looked very inept in the 2-minute drill. In this situation here, they have been rather calm and collected and very well organized.
Actually, the Beavers have practiced this from day one. Tim Alexander has done a pretty darn good job of adapting to this. He hadn't practiced it for 4 years. In fact, what you get with Tim Alexander is just like a new freshman into a program, because he had to relearn how to play football for the passing offense.
And how many quarterback coaches has he had in the last 3 years? Three new guys to get adjusted to.
Plus the guys in the booth telling him what to do. You know?
Well, maybe he should listen to you more. Yeah, if that's not out of bounds, I don't know what is.
29 seconds left, and the Beavers with 1 timeout. Comes the blitz. Alexander to roll, using that speed. Boy, great speed. He outran Peter Sermon. He slips and he falls. And he gets up, and he stops the clock and picked up a yard on the play.
Those of us watching Tim all year have only seen 4 or 5 times when he's really been open, and he's never had an open field that could give him a touchdown. He's got such incredible speed. He has a different gear than anybody on the field when he has the opportunity.
You saw how his feet went from turf to paint on the sideline, and his feet went just out from under him.
Beavers have yet to convert on third down. 0 for 7, 3rd and 3. They're going to run the draw. Sprint out to the right. The cutback by Alexander, and he's short of the first down. The Beavers need to take a timeout here because they're short of the first down by 2 yards. They may let the clock run all the way down and then take the timeout to set up for a field goal. 8 seconds left. The clock moves. And now they take the timeout with 4 seconds left.
You know, it amazes me sometimes how coaches spend a lot of time yelling out on the field when all they have to do is get a substitute, tell him what to do, and go over and tell the official timeout. Rich Brooks used to do that all the time. They'd be out there signaling timeout when all you have to do is send a substitute in and go tell the official timeout.
Or have the players understand before that play. I mean, it seems to me like as these kids get more experience, they will learn where they're looking before that play happens.
Well, a capacity crowd, sellout, standing room only tickets sold, so we would expect a crowd of somewhere around 45,000 in the yard today. And we're glad you can join us on Fox Sports Northwest, your region of Fox Sports Net, and our coverage of Civil War football. Civil War, 101st renewal of the longest rivalry on the West Coast, 7th longest in the country.
And, you know, I think we've got a couple of 3,000 additional people watching live in Corvallis today at Parker Stadium on the new Jumbotron. Where's your Jumbotron here?
It's going to be installed shortly, we understand. 48-yard field goal attempt. It is up, and it is just short, about 1.5 yards shy. Into a little bit of a wind, and just short. So the first half comes to an end. A wild and woolly first half, penalties, big plays, and tempers flaring. And at the end of the first 30 minutes, Oregon leads Oregon State 27-10. We'll be back with our halftime activities and our pizza in a moment.
I rolled the dice for $8.
At Oregon State, just about even in rushing yards, but it's throwing the football where the yardage difference occurs.
Boy, if you had told me the Beavers would get 20 yards throwing the ball in the first half, I would have called you a liar. Wouldn't have bought you pizza, that's for sure. The Beavers have got to get something out of the passing game. It just has not been Beavers 1997 so far in this game.
So Jason Moss looks like he will be the quarterback to start the second half for the Ducks as he replaced Akili Smith. Smith struggling a little bit today, but the Ducks fortunate to have 2 quarterbacks that both have good abilities. You can see the completions and the percentages and just about equal, despite the fact Moss played only, 2 series in that second quarter.
What a huge lift that those 2 series would be for the Ducks, particularly the bomb at the end. The Beavers had to go out of that at 2010. They would have felt real good. They're back into the ball game. The defense is playing very, very well. And all of a sudden, bang, 27.
So Mike Riley, his team has to come from behind, trailing by 17 at halftime. The lights are on at Autzen Stadium. The Beavers will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Armand Hatcher at the 18, big hole over the left side, and he's twirled down by Garrett Sable at the 38-yard line. Taking a look at the first half possessions, Beavers really struggled offensively until the second quarter when they got a few things going. They missed the field goal at the end, close by maybe about 1 yard or 2. That would have given him some momentum heading into the locker room.
And only 4 drives total that they had the ball more than 4 plays.
Alexander struggled in the first half. At one point he was 1 for 10, but only 20 yards passing. First and 10, the 39, let's call it. Alexander, quick roll, hitch pass, in and out and back into the hands of Robert Prescott. Putting excitement into the 5-yard hitch.
I thought that bounced off the turf for a second, but no, you're right, excitement.
And there's an example of the kind of pass play you like your quarterback to start off with, a short, easily to execute kind of play where he can get a completion and get a little momentum. That was not the case in the first quarter for Alexander.
Second down and 4 for Oregon State. Dandridge has the touchdown on a 35-yard run. Garth White overruns the play. And Desmond Bird, the defensive tackle, gets back into the play along with Michael Fletcher. Gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and 2 for Oregon State.
I'm impressed with the young offensive linemen for Oregon State. They've done a pretty good job today. Keep in mind, DiDomenico, second. As you look at Dandridge versus McCulloch, this is a big day for Dandridge, probably about his season. and career at Oregon State. But these young linemen have cleared the holes out. This is the best running game the Beavers have had in weeks, and you got 3 young guys playing for their first times.
Certainly bodes well for the future for Oregon State. The present, they are faced with a 3rd down and 3. Give it back to Dandridge on a straight power play, and Leah Sualua drops him right at the line of scrimmage.
Tough call right here. The Beavs need to get some momentum going, but you just got to put the Ducks in a hole, I think. Lead play, just absolutely untouched. Beat the left guard. Great play by Sualua.
And Sualua is open because the blocker chose to block number 44, Peter Sermon. We haven't heard much from him so far in the game. The Beavers done a nice job of keeping him out of the play.
Yeah, Sermon is the Pac-10's leading tackler.
There's a kick.
Oh, there is a kick and a half over the head of Patrick Johnson. And he gets an Oregon roll for a touchback. Great punt there of 54 yards. So Oregon with its first possession of the second half. Let's take a look at what they did in the first half of play. You can see, boom, out of the gate, they get 3 quick touchdowns. And then they bogged down a bit before finally getting the touchdown pass, Moss to Johnson, to conclude the first half. And Keely Smith comes back in at quarterback.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise. Moss finished the half nicely, but Smith has been the guy, and Mike Bellotti said 2 weeks ago that the job had been officially won by Keely Smith based on his effort against Washington. Saladin McCullough in the first half, 112 yards rushing and 1 touchdown on 20 attempts. Tries the right side, and looked like he stumbled to start the play and ends up picking up 7 yards.
It's just like there's nothing there that he can possibly do with it, Ken, and he gets 7 yards out of it.
Well, it's like tiptoeing through a minefield. You know, he's not going to put so much weight on a foot to set the mine off, but he still maintains his balance. He is really a remarkable runner. I very much enjoy watching him run. Like I say, he's very frustrating for defenders. It's hard to get a straight-up shot on him.
2nd and 3. Back to McCullough on a counter play. This time the Beavers snuff it out nicely. And first half, but not an artistic endeavor. War is ugly. Turnovers, fumbles, penalties, missed extra point, blocked punt, and sacks. But the defensive guys would say that's nice.
Yeah, that's a nice war right there. Just got word that another Oregon State defensive lineman, Seth O'Reilly, is now out with a sprained ankle gone. That's 3 of Oregon State's defensive linemen who are now out of this game. 2 of them have been out for weeks, but boy, it hurts the rotation.
3rd and 2 for the Ducks. They need to get to the 30. McCullough on the toss sweep. It's a good block from Eric Wynn, and he has the first down to the 31-yard line. Terrence Carroll coming over from the free safety position with the tackle, but a first down for Oregon. Well, going into the game, Saladin McCullough needed 149 yards to overtake Rashawn Sheehy of Washington for the Pac-10 rushing lead. Now, we say lead because Sheehy is out for the season, but Skip Hicks and Trunk Candidate of UCLA and Arizona both also have an opportunity to become Pac-10 rushing champions. Armand Hatcher looks like he wants to blitz, and he got his hand on the ball right there. Number 15 came on the safety blitz. Got his hand on the ball.
Well, there's a case where Keely saw him coming and either checked out to that play or knew he was coming, tried to get it over, and big guy gets his hands up. Talked about pass defense. Nothing's better for pass defense than to get your hands up in the quarterback's face. Obviously there you deflect the ball, but so often you force him to throw the ball high.
That was that little screen pass that went for the touchdown first series.
2nd and 10. Trying to set up screen here to Saladin. This is wide open. 40, 45 out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Armand Hatcher and company in pursuit. Bashir Elahi gets credit for the tackle.
Well, there was a lot of wide open spaces for Saladin there as the Oregon State secondary collapsed on the receivers going deeper downfield. That was very well executed. You're going to see blockers out there with nobody to block. See Daly, number 68.
Wow.
Aguirre, 63. Parker's down there bothering a guy, and that's a big big conversion for the first down.
1st and 10 for Oregon. The Beavers now without Inoki Brechterfield, who left the field with what looked like a shoulder injury. McCullough, for one of the few times today, is hit from behind the line of scrimmage. Jason Mingeo made the tackle there. And now he trots off the field. Brechterfield looked like on the first play of Oregon's possession of this half, did something to his right shoulder, the right shoulder, and they're looking him over on the sidelines, knowing his toughness, he'll be back in there.
Well, you see him right there. He'll play if he can walk. He's an amazing kid.
Coming in 11, Keely Smith out pattern, Patrick Johnson, one-on-one with a corner. And he rolls forward for a gain of about 9 yards, a little bit right at the first down marker.
That was a really good tackle against a guy who can embarrass people in the wide open spaces. You watch him, corner number 21, gets him high, does not allow him to beat him into the inside, and takes him out to the sideline. That's excellent defense right there.
We do have a flag on the play, and apparently against Oregon, as they'll mark it back. Illegal procedure against the Ducks. Look at Bashir Elahi, senior from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. He's had a great career for Oregon State. 8 interceptions, 11th on the all-time list.
I think that was an excellent Oak Ridge, Texas, not Tennessee.
Texas, excuse me. That's right. Can't read my own writing. Smith, little half roll, now lofting it deep for Kevin Parker. Parker with Hatcher in pursuit.
Nice
and I think
play.
Hatcher got a hand on that one.
Nice defensive play.
One thing I'm impressed the Oregon coaches have done with Keely Smith the last 3 weeks, Todd, is he is standing in the pocket better and more relaxed than we have seen him. And he's had some pressure today. You know, we saw his propensity to run around and run sideways and set up some sack situations that really shouldn't have happened. He's come a long way in the last 3 weeks.
That was a pretty nice ball. I mean, he laid it out there right where it had to be.
3rd and 15 for Oregon. Ryan Jones with some pressure back over the middle, caught near the first down marker by Patrick Johnson. Depends on the spot.
Well, there was some early pressure, Todd. He stepped up, just threw a rocket. You watch where they're going to rule Johnson down here. Watch where Patrick is down about the first down. That's a pretty good spot by the official.
Yeah, it was.
So they'll bring in the sticks for the measurement. Today's attendance, 45,735.
And that's an advantage the Oregon pass offense has over the Beaver pass offense. They have a lot more variety of routes that can get long yardage in a 3rd down situation.
Well, the Beaver offense is really a half-field offense. As we watch the transition offense, Oregon's is a full field pass offense. They drop back in a pocket and run patterns all the way across the field, where the Beavers typically run floods into one side of the field or the other.
Is a first down for Oregon at the Oregon State 43-yard line. Keely Smith hands off to Saladin, and he does his best just to get a yard and a half.
You know, we saw last week, Steve, Oregon State defense really came out fired up against SC and practically nullified their rushing offense in the second half. They're showing up pretty salty here so far.
Well, it's a very good defense, particularly considering the size up front. They have got a lot of players who've stayed in there all year in spite of the injuries. And quite frankly, until they lost a couple of people up front and a linebacker, Micah Moore, the Beavers didn't have anything over 350 yards the first 6 games of the season.
2nd and 9. Take the option to run the reverse. Patrick Johnson.
Oh,
what a play. Brechterfield stayed at home and made the tackle. Loss of 6.
That is a tough tackle to make. Ken just talked about it with a cornerback. At least the cornerback's got some speed.
That's right. If I'm the Ducks here, I would run that originally toward Brechterfield and not. Look what a great job he did of making Johnson go inside where all his friends were. That is great discipline by a defensive end, maintaining leverage like that and contain. But you know, that play would have been a lot better faking it towards him and running away from him. He's their best defender up front.
3rd and 15. Comes the blitz. Smith eludes it. He's got a lot of real estate to use. Smith steps out of bounds. He has the first down at the Beaver 29-yard line, and that's the other dimension that Akili Smith brings to the Oregon offense.
Well, we saw him last week against Arizona State, run it right down the middle of the field for 59 yards. This guy's got great speed. Now he's saying, Solly, get out there and block this guy for him. He does. And, you know, there he's matured too. We saw him at the beginning of the year. He would have taken a left turn, try to run over that guy. They're reminding him of that in the huddle.
Big third down conversion for Oregon. The Ducks, and this is a key stat in the football game, 7 for 11. Oregon State is 0 for 9.
Wow. And Oregon is the best team in the Pac-10 for converting on third down.
45%. See, the drive started at the 20, 11 plays. They've consumed a lot of time. Saladin McCullough trying to break a tackle, and he can't do it. You know, last week, Arizona State had success against Saladin McCullough because they didn't overcommit. They stayed at home and prevented the cutback alleys that Saladin McCullough has been able to use so effectively this year. And, you know, in this half, in this drive, the Beavers have done a good job of that.
A couple of Saladin's big runs in the first quarter were against blitzes, and the Beavers are laying off the blitz right now. They've gotten a lot of good pressure just off a standard 4 or 5 man rush.
Well, their gap principle, they just take a gap and then they flow from there. Their blitz is usually a 1-man blitz, a 5-man blitz, if you will. Nice play.
This is the touchdown pass earlier, and this time the Beavers do a much better job and hold Johnson to about a 4-yard gain.
Well, they defended both screen passes there, Todd. Faked it to Saladin to the right. That was covered, and I'm sure it was just a fake, but coming back here to the left, all the blockers had been overrun by the defenders. Excellent coverage by the Beavers.
I'm impressed with Smith. He seems to be very calm. You mentioned he'd made a lot of improvement since the first season. It sure looks like he knows what he's doing.
See, Ilahe made a very nice open field tackle on Patrick Johnson again.
3rd and 4. Into the neutral zone is Oregon State. Aaron Wells, a little anxious. That's the 3rd time today the Beavers have done that.
Offside on the defense, 5 yards. The penalty results in a first down.
There again, Keeley showing a little bit of leadership out there. Long count, the offensive line is prepared for it, and the defensive line jumps.
A lot of freebies today with those penalties. Already surpassed their season average, and we're just partway through the 3rd quarter.
6 minutes and 49 seconds on a running clock. And again, movement.
That one should be on the Ducks. I think there was a movement in the line just to left to center.
Now, when you say should, do you mean the law of averages?
It better be.
Five yards.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for Oregon.
Early in the year, I would say that is or that. But after a lot of the officiating this year, it's sometimes hard to tell.
The word apparently has been used a lot.
First down 15.
So the ball now spotted at the 22-yard line. McCullough over the right side. Not much there again. Wow. Right for field.
He is amazing.
He really is.
He's fun to just watch. Just one guy and isolate on him. See Brechterfield. He stands up his man to the outside and then just fights underneath it. Look at that. Just avoids the guard. Wow, that's sweet.
He got away from 2 guys. The guy that initially blocked him and then the pulling guard.
Well, he moves around like, you know, a former wrestler. Arizona's had a lot of guys like that over the years who are real good fighting off blocks and getting around them.
Smith throws it deep for Johnson. Can he catch up to it? No, not even with his speed could he get there. Bashir Elahi on the coverage for Oregon State.
Now that'd give you a thrill with Johnson's speed to be a bump and run corner out there with him. Whoa.
With the emphasis on run.
Yep. The emphasis on make sure you bump.
You better bump, yeah.
Well, when the ball comes down that deep, you might have thrown it just a tad bit late. That's the one thing about Pat Johnson. You got to get it up early or he's going to outrun it.
See those 3rd down conversions. This is a big one, 3rd and 15. Smith rolling away from pressure, throws it deep, has a man. Hartley got a touchdown, his 2nd of the day.
Great throw.
And he got hit as he threw it as well. That shows you the arm strength of Akili Smith.
Well, this looks like it's pretty good defensive coverage, and he just puts it right on the money.
Number 15, Armand Hatcher, probably a little depressed by this, but unless you hold the guy, it's difficult to cover it any better than this. Ball is just thrown high and away to the outside where the defender cannot get it. Great throw, nice touch, and as you mentioned, it was under pressure.
So Hartley with his 2nd touchdown of the day, 6th for the season. Josh Franco for the extra point. It's up and good. And Oregon scores on its first possession of the 2nd half as it leads the Beavers now 34-10.
Prepare yourself for a coast-to-coast battle. Jim Rome, LA Sports Radio shock jock.
How do you know players lobbing midgets through windows, other players sucking dope out of Coke cans?
Wallace Matthews, New York Post print prophet.
Almost as if to say our league is getting too black.
Sports talk for the fearless.
Try to keep up with me on this.
When you're fighting for the last word, anything can happen.
If this is going over your head, Wally, tell me to slow down.
The Last Word premieres midnight, January 5th. It's a Big Ten, Pac-10 battle on Fox Sports Net. Lon Kruger's Fighting Illini are on a roll. Jerry G powers Illinois into Pauley Pavilion, where highly touted freshman Baron Davis has lived up to the hype. Steve Lavin's Bruins seek revenge for last season's loss to the Illini. Illinois UCLA, Tuesday at 7:30 on Fox Sports Northwest.
Friday afternoon at 3:30, it's the Duel in the Desert. Arizona visit the Arizona State Sun Devils, and Fox Sports Northwest brings it to you live at 3:30. Friday afternoon on Fox Sports Northwest. You think Washington State fans will be interested in the outcome of that ball game?
As well as UCLA USC right now.
You see the Ducks have extended their lead. 5th touchdown of the day. They scored on their final possession of the first half. And now a 16-play, 80-yard drive. You know, Ken, Oregon's offense has actually been better, it seems, when they've had to march down the field. They're better at going long distances than they are going short distances for some reason.
That's right.
It's amazing this year.
And right now they seem to be better going on 3rd down than they are on 1st and 2nd, which is a dramatic change from the first part of the game.
So the kickoff fielded at the 15-yard line, and that is absolutely it. Big hit on the special teams by Jeff Simpson as he pounds Greg Ainsworth to the turf. 26-yard line.
Powell. Beaver Wedge just didn't get going there.
Very slow to start right then.
Well, the one thing about Oregon's kickoff coverage, it's hard to, line up for a return because you never know where they're going to kick the ball or what kind of kick.
Yeah, they've already tried an onside kick today. Alexander on the sprint. And Ainsworth popped pretty good after the ball goes by him by Rashad Bowman, and incomplete. That's a tough throw to make. Well, running left, throwing right.
It's certainly a tough throw if you don't square up your shoulders the way you're trying to throw the football. And it just seems like Tim is a little bit out of sync. You mentioned timing earlier, Cannon, how he got out of timing early on. He looks like his timing is very poor on this sprint series.
And this is not the scenario Mike Riley wanted to have, having to throw the football in the second half. Here comes the option play. Alexander, the pitch, Dandridge. And he's got about 3 yards where he's pounded out pretty good by Peter Sermon and Michael Fletcher. Peter Sermon, the only 2-time Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Week in the Pac-10 this year. See, he leads the Pac-10, and now he has over 100 tackles for the season. And he's only a sophomore.
He's really had a great year, and he's one of those players on the Oregon defense who could start and play for anybody that he's played against this year.
Already calls defensive signals as a sophomore? Is that right?
Yes.
He's the inspirational leader, too. He really got after his teammates midway through the season. We got to play better football. 3rd down and 7. Alexander throws incomplete behind Ainsworth a little bit, and Greg unable to pull it in.
Well, here's another situation, if we do get to see this again, where Tim has an opening to run, and sometimes you just wish he'd remember that he is a great runner and fly with that football.
Well, it must be frustrating for Oregon State because they are so rollout conscious. That was a drop back pass, and the receiver was right there at the 1st down yardage, but he couldn't come up with a catch.
Mike Fessler has averaged 32.5 yards a punt today, had 1 block. This is an end-over-ender to Patrick Johnson. Why do you let him bounce?
Oh,
maybe that's why. He's off to the races. Could be a foot race now. 20, 10, touchdown Patrick Johnson. 75 yards. Well, guys, I guess he knows better than me. Well, I thought he could have fielded that one on the fly. Instead, he let it bounce.
Todd, you put the hex on the Beavers in the first half when you said Patrick had yet to break one this year. Watch this. As soon as he gets through the first, broke 1 tackle there, and then now this is speed. There are people in position to tackle him. If they were as fast as he was, he just shows them his heels. Once again, he's broken the Todd McKim jinx.
First time in 5 years the Ducks have returned a punt for a touchdown. The last one by Ronnie Harris versus UNLV back in 1992. Harris doing a good job with the Seahawks last couple of years. Point after good. The Ducks have broken this one wide open in the 3rd quarter. Patrick Johnson with 3 touchdowns today. 2 pass receptions and a punt return, and the Ducks lead 41-10.
Lisa Harrison isn't thinking about being a role model. She's not thinking about being a pioneer of women's sports. She's not thinking about stats or shoe endorsements. She just wants to put the ball back in bounds.
Seek the power in an exclusive live Fox Sports Northwest matchup, January 3rd at 7.
Okay, you watch Patrick Johnson. He breaks through. The Beavers guilty of leaving the middle open there. Now he's going to take a left-hand turn, and he just leaves them all in his wake. That's not a fair race right there.
No, and the Beavers had to get him early. They had 2 shots early on. You got to sell out. You can't reach for somebody like that. You got to leave your feet.
You bet. You know, Todd mentioned, why didn't he catch the ball? I think the Beavers might have relaxed a little bit when they saw the ball hit the turf and bounce.
So Frankel, a short kick, fielded at the 28-yard line. And a fumble, no. Ball came loose late, apparently. So the Beavers will take over at their own 39-yard line. And Steve, they've got to be in a little bit of a state of shock there after the short return by Adrian Woodson. Haven't called his name for a while.
Adrian is a senior. He's a young man that came to Oregon State as an option quarterback out of Texas. He started ball games for Oregon State at quarterback. He started at safety. He's played tight end this year. He's played, a year ago. Came back this year, played fullback and tight end. He's done everything the Beavers have asked him, including playing almost every special team.
Roll out by Alexander. He's in trouble, and he dumps it into the turf under pressure from Dietrich Moore. Well, you sense that the Ducks have finally realized that Alexander's going to roll out. He's been doing that most of the year, but the Ducks are catching on to it now and really making it tough for him to throw the ball when he wants to throw it.
Well, and one thing about a sprint-out pass offense, generally the secondary knows immediately where you intend to throw it. and they can kind of roll their coverage that way. You put very little pressure on the backside. Those people can come and help work on the quarterback or on the pass receivers downfield.
This is an inside reverse to Dandridge. Makes a couple of nice moves, but is dropped after a gain of 1 yard by Richie Thomas.
And he's slow to get up.
And then one other disadvantage of the sprint out offense is now when you're in the middle of the field, you don't have quite as much room to work with to the sidelines.
Ow, ouch.
See, Michael Fletcher, number 1, got his shoulder in on him.
Dandridge will come out.
And, you know, Dandridge is going to be a better runner next year because he's probably going to be about 15 pounds heavier.
Ricky Walker checks in, number 4.
And Ricky Walker's got a tender ankle. He is a real talent, a redshirt freshman.
Ball is almost intercepted. Instead, it is caught by Robert Prescott.
Well, there it is. That's how they got to throw the football.
Off a defender.
Off a defender.
It's a gain of 18 yards.
How many third downs have the Beavers made today? I think that's the first one.
That's the first one. 1 out of 11. And that one went through the hands of Eric Edwards. Should have been picked.
Tim Alexander has a very strong arm. His problem with quarterbacking at all is in the touch and throwing the different kinds of passes. And again, it's just like he's a old baby.
And that one was thrown out of the field of play, or Jaya Pateras might have had an interception.
Tim is starting over. He missed 4 years of football as a quarterback by running the option as far as learning how to intermix a total package, balancing the run and the pass.
He takes the opportunity to come to the sidelines to get the play call.
Mike Johnson, the receivers coach, gave him the call right there. Mike was a fine quarterback at Arizona State and then Akron, played professionally, coaches the receivers.
2nd and 10, 42. Play action pass. Here comes Richie Thomas late. Ball is caught. Great pass. We have a flag. In fact, we have 2 flags. The ball is caught and would be a big gain for Oregon State, but we'll check out the flags. Prescott, once again, he's kind of been the main man today for
he sure has.
Tim Alexander.
Young kid that's really come on.
That was a very cleanly executed pass play there. You know, a precise route, ball thrown right on the money.
Well, you have to hand it to Mike Riley and his staff. They brought a lot of kids.
Holding on the defense. Penalties declined. First down.
They taught an entire offense this year with kids that predominantly were recruited to play the wishbone.
First down at the Oregon 12.
That was a good throw there. And the holding call against Oregon declined. Cy Hemish putting a big hit on after the ball is released. Well, here are the Beavers inside the red zone. They've converted today. Minutes and 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. Oregon leading 41-10. Dandridge, the toss sweep to the corner, and he is close to the goal line. Is he in, or is he out of bounds?
Well, call it, somebody.
Nobody really. Touchdown!
Can you believe these guys?
I think the one official wanted to check with the side judge to see if he had been out or not, and he said no, and then he signaled touchdown.
Second touchdown of the day by Jason Dandridge, a star in the making.
Well, I stand corrected, Ken, because I've complained about these guys a lot, but I like to see the official. If he isn't sure, he'll wait and see instead of just signaling something. Good job there by the official. He did wait because he didn't know and then made the call from the other side.
And so the Beavers
you're just saying that because it went your way.
It was a good call. Great officiating crew.
Beavers line up the 2-point conversion. Little pick play, the throw into the end zone, and incomplete. Thrown behind Prescott, who's upset because he was open.
He was opening.
So the Beavers get on the board in the third quarter. The Ducks leading 41-16 with 2:25 remaining in the third period.
Only one other place on the West Coast has given rise to more CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. If you put any stock in that. And we have one of the most selective law schools in America, in case you'd care to approach the bench.
The Pacific 10 Conference. Its academic and athletic excellence are as great as the area it encompasses. Stretching from the state of Washington in the Northwest to Arizona in the Southwest. Unparalleled in athletic success, the Pac-10 has won more NCAA championships than any other conference. The 10 members have been providing the best in quality higher education for more than a century. The Pac-10, the Conference of Champions.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Northwest, a part of the Fox Sports Net, and our coverage of Pac-10 football, the Civil War, Oregon and Oregon State. The Ducks with a big lead, but the Beavers, nice drive that last time. As Dandridge finishes it off with his second touchdown of the day. Saladin fields it and goes right out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
Well, there was an official on it. He was standing right on it.
An Oregon blocker pushed the Oregon State guy right in the back, down onto the ground, right in front of the official.
So that'll put the Ducks inside the 5-yard line to start this possession. Well, Dandridge now having a good day.
Dead ball, personal foul on receivers. Be half the distance to the goal. 1st and 10.
Dandridge now with 90 yards rushing, capping off the 61-yard drive with a 12-yard run. 2 TDs for Dandridge. Saladin McCullough, his counterpart, 127 yards on 27 carries. So the penalty half the distance to the goal line. Marks the ball at the 4-yard line where the Ducks will take over, and without the services of tight end Blake Spence for the rest of the afternoon, re-injured the sprained ankle that he suffered last week against Arizona State. McCullough tries to bounce to the outside over the 5 to the 6-yard line. Armand Hatcher and Aaron Wells double team on the tackle. Well, McCullough now with 28 carries, that ties his career high. And you can see the rushing yards. The Beavers really struggled in the first quarter in particular. Since then, they've gotten on track, and they've done a good job defensively against McCullough. The guy that's hurt Oregon State is Patrick Johnson. Smith to throw. Pitch pattern caught by Ray Brust. Short gain out to the 10, maybe the 11-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3.5 for Oregon.
Well, that's Keith Hayward Johnson. He is a true freshman. Hasn't played much defensively, but he has certainly played special teams all year and has been a 5th or 6th back when they've needed him. But he's a real future kid. He's an excellent corner with great speed. Number 3 who made that play.
Playing left corner right now. It's a big 3rd down and 3 play for both teams. The Ducks backed up deep as the 3rd quarter winding down. The Beavers looked like they were into the neutral zone once again.
Wow.
And that's happened, I think, 2 times or 3 times on 3rd down.
You saw Inoki Breckerfield telling a few people what they got to do. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous that people in the middle of the line, right, Woody, who could see the ball right in front of them are listening to the quarterback.
Offside on the defense. Result of the penalty, the 1st down.
There comes a point where inexperience is no longer an excuse. You got to mature and be smart about it. That's really a defensive principle, is you've got to watch your ball. There's no need to be listening to what's going on.
You think by the 11th game you'd get it, wouldn't you?
McCullough, Breckerfield in pursuit, and they knock McCullough down for no gain.
Did you see that move, though? He came to the left side. He said, oh, there's 56. I think I'll go the other way.
Clock winding down, under 40 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. 2 scores by Oregon in this quarter. 1 by Oregon State. McCullough at 129 yards, but taken 29 carries to get that. Remember, he needed at least 149 yards to move ahead of Rashawn Sheehy for the Pac-10 lead. The Beavers misaligned. They don't have anybody on the slot man. And they'll give it back to McCullough instead, and he gets maybe 2 yards. Once again, Aaron Wells. This guy has shown up a lot today.
Well, Aaron's just gotten his starting job back. He was a starter at the early part of the year. James Griley, a junior college transfer, has been playing the last several weeks. You can see the size there. How'd you like to be 234 pounds in the middle of the line in the Pac-10?
That's no picnic for sure against those 300-plus linemen. Well, that's the end of 3 quarters. Oregon heading into the final period, leading 41-16.
This year, there's more to celebrate than just the new year. Because during the Jeep year-end celebration, we're also celebrating Peterson's 4x4 of the year, the Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited, which means great deals like a $359 a month lease on the legendary Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, or lease a Cherokee Sport for $259 a month. The Jeep year-end celebration, brought to you by the most award-winning brand of 4x4s on earth. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
We're talking football and taking you on the field, behind the scenes, and inside the game. Ron Pitts and Tim Green take you to the action.
I'm not going.
Plus Millen's matchup, NFL Total Access. Then get the X's and O's from the pros. Join NFL on Fox host Ronnie Lott with Bill Moss for the inside scoop. Pro ball, past, present, and future. This is hardcore football. NFL Insight, Fox Attitude. Tuesdays on Fox Sports Northwest.
All right, Banner, let's head down to Miami for a Fox Sports News inside look at last Sunday's Dolphins game.
Well, Kevin, it was a tough game, but we gave 110% out there. Now we've just got to take it one game at a time and not look past our next opponent. We just have to keep our eye on the ball, stay focused, and always remember there's no I in team.
Wow, one interview, 6 cliches.
He's a cliche Hall of Famer.
Todd McKim along with Ken Woody and Steve Priest at Autzen Stadium in Eugene. The Civil War, Ducks and Beavers, the Pac-10 regular season conclusion. And Oregon leads Oregon State by 25 heading into the final period of play. Oregon faced with a 3rd and 9 as we begin the action. Keely Smith has gone all the way in the 3rd quarter. Half roll, trying to loft one downfield to Kevin Parker. Parker has, it's intercepted. No, it's intercepted, yes, by Brandon Boyce. A tremendous play.
Parker had that ball coming down.
No, excuse me, not Boyce, I'm sorry.
Marthaler, Robert Marthaler.
That's right.
Parker had the ball, and he just took it away from him as he hit the ground. This is a great play by the Oregon State secondary and a very well thrown pass by Smith. He's got it right there. Now it's taken away.
Well, Robert Marthaler was a walk-on player from Siletz. He just makes a great play there, taking the ball away. Super.
Ball looked like it was slightly underthrown a little bit. Parker had to slow down a step.
Oregon with 4 turnovers. Despite that, the Ducks have scored 41 points.
Well, that's a one win for the Beavers, huh? 4-1.
Back to Dandridge, trying to get over 100 yards. Trying to become the first Oregon State player to rush for over 100 yards in a year.
Yeah,
the last time they had one guy, it was kind of a feast. They had 3 players over 100 yards last year in a game against Northern Illinois. Alexander, Akili King, and Deshaun Williams.
Well, unfortunately, in those days, we used to run no matter what the score is or the down. So we got a lot of yardage. We ran 80 times a game.
Andrich at 93 right now. Comes the counter play, and he's got over 100 and then some. Maybe a touchdown. He's looking for his 3rd of the day. Good burst of speed to the Oregon 40-yard line, where he is down by Jaya Figueres.
He's had a great day. Boy, talk about change your position for next year real quick.
Look at Lazatich with that block, pulling block. Boy, he just cleared out the linebacker, didn't he?
Great job.
That was a huge hole. semi-truck could get through there. You see Jim Coynes, our buddy, getting out of the way. Don't want to get him hurt on the eve of his retirement, Todd.
Now they run the counter play. Alexander can run. And he slides forward to the 23-yard line. They've been running that delayed counter all day long, and this time Alexander faked it, and nobody was at home for Oregon on the corner.
Dandridge,
17.
Dandridge, 31. Take a look at this. This is what you love to see Tim Alexander do. He just hasn't had the opportunity or done it himself enough this year. Dandridge, 31 carries for 86 yards before today.
That'll try the toss sweep. This is Dandridge, and penalty flag as well as Michael Fletcher drops Dandridge for a 6-yard loss. The wide plays haven't worked very successfully for Oregon State. It's been more of that counter play inside between the tackles.
Well, they've actually had 2 outside plays work, but both cases were speed over great blocking.
Holding on the offense. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
I think Alexander has been his most effective when he's been able to bootleg back. Watch the 87. A lot of hanging on there, but I think that Alexander's been especially effective when he's been able to misdirect one way and then come back around the outside with the option to run the pass.
So 2nd and long, 16 to go for the Beavers. Rolling out, has a man overthrown, intercepted by Eric Edwards. Edwards trying to get to the outside, flags all over the place. And Edwards is twisted out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Eric Edwards with his 2nd interception of the season. Looks like the interception will stand, but the flag might be against Oregon on the return.
Well, looks like just a combination pattern.
Holding indicated against the Ducks.
Looked like James Battle was wide open on the curl. If it is Battle, he's 6'3" anyway, so that was way up there.
Against the receivers, interceptors, the 1st down.
Both teams now into double digits in penalties.
This is actually Tompkins on the inside, Prescott outside 82, and wow, that was up there. Who was the ball for?
I think it was for the hook man, number 82. And that was a pretty well executed play outside. The throw was high. You know, we talked earlier, when you get some pressure in the quarterback, you don't always have to sack him. If you can get him to throw that high ball, you got a chance of picking it off. Alexander is not your prototypical quarterback height-wise, though.
You're right about that.
2nd turnover of the day for Oregon State. Jason Moss now in at quarterback for Oregon. Saladin McCullough, nothing doing. Aaron Wells again, gain of maybe 1.
Well, Todd, I want to tell you that I have just seen the first instance of one player helping another player up on the other team. And we got 12 minutes to go. Jed Weaver, number 81, helped a Beaver up. That's the first time I've seen a player help another one from the other team.
That's probably grounds for losing a scholarship, isn't it? In this game.
Shipping back to Redmond.
Well, I love rival games, but I think you ought to try to show them that you're respectful.
Moss to throw again, looking deep for Patrick Johnson, and he's got this one as well. Behind Bumpus, he may go the distance. 90-yard touchdown reception by Patrick Johnson. His 4th touchdown of the day. Well, Jason Moss, all he does is come in and throw the bomb.
Boy, Patrick Johnson is hurt today.
Putting a big hurt. He's got more points than Oregon State. 3 touchdown receptions, which ties his career high, and a punt return for a touchdown. And his all-purpose yardage is going to be phenomenal.
Wow.
Watch it. This is a long, long bomb thrown perfectly. No help by the safety possible, and then it's a foot race, and Pat Johnson's winning all the foot races today.
Well, he's won most of those in his career. That's the second longest pass at Oregon, in Oregon history. And it goes for a touchdown. So, Patrick Johnson and the Ducks extend their lead, 48-16. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rick Riz inviting you to take part in the 1998 Safeco Mariners Caravan. This annual event rolls through 14 Northwest communities and provides informative baseball clinics for fans of all ages. The Safeco Mariners Caravan will be coming to a community near you during the month of January. To hear a complete listing of the caravan schedule, call the AT&T Mariners fan phone at 1-800-MY-MARINERS. The Mariners thank the Safeco Corporation and the assistance of Fox Sports Northwest for their continued support of the Safeco Mariners Caravan. Fox Sports Northwest shines its brightest when it highlights special events that bring you closer to home teams with Fox attitude. Whether you're looking for championship form, playoff excitement, tournament action, all-star performances, or events too unique to be part of a series, look to Fox Sports Northwest.
Join us for an encore presentation of the high-scoring Beaverton and McNary OSAA 4A football championship game Tuesday, December 30th at 11 a.m.
Watch Patrick Johnson here. He makes a little bit move, and then it's just a foot race. That defensive back, when he looked for the ball, lost a little separation there, Steve, and didn't get a chance. You got to stay closer than that to Pat Johnson.
Well, that was Keith Hayward Johnson, young freshman we just talked about. He is a true freshman, and you mentioned earlier, you learn with experience.
And I think one thing is the secondary coaches, hey, when you get a guy that fast, you can't have a free release off the line of scrimmage. You got to get a hand on him, you got to bump him and try to disrupt that timing. You know, Moss made that pass look easy, but there's a lot of timing involved in that kind of throw and catch.
And that was not an easy catch to make by Johnson. And let's face it, I mean, here's a guy that a year ago probably doesn't make some of the catches that he's made this year, including that one. He stayed and went through the spring football for the first time, stayed over the summer, caught a lot of balls, and he has been a big play man this year for Oregon. Good kick by Frankel to Deshaun Williams at the 3. Kind of tippy-toed his way up over the 20 to the 23-yard line. And the Beavers come back on the field. Well, moments ago, the Beavers had a little momentum going and had the ball in Oregon territory before the interception by Edwards and then Johnson's touchdown, and the Ducks extend their lead. That's the second longest touchdown pass in Oregon history, second longest pass, and Patrick Johnson with Saladin McCullough, two of the premier players at their positions in the Pacific 10 Conference.
Well, you talk about a swing with those two, 14 points real quick.
Yes, good point. Alexander stays in there. Little screen pass to Dandridge. And Dandridge trying to get away from Michael Fletcher, cannot do it, but he has 13 yards and a first down.
Well, that was a well-executed pass, but there again, Steve, pass was high, difficult to catch. I think Alexander has struggled having 3 different coaches and a couple different systems the past couple of years, but the guy's a great competitor, and for his size, does throw the ball pretty well.
Oh, he's really got arm strength. And again, he has not had the opportunity to work on this for 3 or 4 years. He is an incredible athlete who has played wide receiver and tailback for the Beavers this year.
Prescott, leaping reception, takes a hit, holds onto the football. Dietrich Moore, the tackle.
Tim has taken a ton of punishment, and he's a guy who will play for the team, whether he will be a part of next year's offense, whether it's at quarterback, which it could very well be. If he continues to improve like he did this year, he could be a fine quarterback in this league next year. More than likely, you'll see a lot more of him outside.
Second and short, Alexander on a roll, gets to the outside, cuts it in, over the 50 to the 48-yard line. First down for Oregon State, gain of 7 for Tim Alexander.
One of the ironies would be, Steve, if OSU's pass offense was a little bit more developed, they could get into formations and allow Alexander the opportunity to run the option more often.
The winner of today's Ken Woody lookalike contest.
That's on one of the better days, folks.
That counterplay to Dandridge, and he is nailed behind the line of scrimmage. Jason Nicolau, true freshman defensive lineman from Tacoma. Oregon very high on him. You know, we talked about the youth of the Oregon State squad. The Oregon team is a pretty young squad as well. They only have 14 seniors too.
You see, he beat the block of the center there. He's very athletic. You know, the Ducks need that up front. I think last week against ASU, they realized what a good team has as far as athletes on the offense and defensive line.
2nd and 13. Here comes the all-out blitz. Ball is thrown, and it is caught. Great grab is right, Steve. Roddy Tompkins makes the reception. You know, Tompkins and Ainsworth both listed in the top 10 in the Pac-10 in receiving. Kind of battling for the team leadership this year.
Well, you have not seen, as you look at Roddy's numbers in the Pac-10, you've not seen Oregon State's pass offense like it has been this season as far as success is concerned. Tim has not thrown the ball well. The Ducks have put good pressure on him today.
3rd and 2. The Beavers 1 of 11 on 3rd down. Here's Dandridge, gets a nice block in the corner, but Michael Fletcher makes a terrific play. And Dandridge, I think, gets to the line of scrimmage, and a late flag again in the Oregon secondary, and they'll move that up around the line of scrimmage as well.
Side judge may have seen someone's hand hit the face mask.
That's what it is, and it'll be a 1st down for Oregon State.
Indicated against the Ducks.
These student athletes have sure learned the ways of the pros when there's a penalty, haven't they? They got their finger pointing in the direction.
Face mask penalty against the defense, 5 yards, results in a 1st down.
I think Mike Bellotti's seen all the penalties he needs to see for a long time. That's a kind of penalty, though, that's somewhat excusable. I mean, this guy's struggling, he's spinning, and you're trying to grab him, and your hand gets stuck on his helmet. You can accept those.
There's the draw play to Dandridge, trying to bounce outside, then cut in and picks up 1 yard. Chris Vanderveer the stop. With that 1 yard, the Beavers now have 245 yards of total offense today. 138 rushing, 107 passing. Oregon over 400 yards, 420.
You know, Todd, you know, it's interesting, the Beavers, although their pass offense is not what they'd like, you'd still rank higher statistically than USC, and that's kind of an irony. Mike Riley being in charge of their passing game the last couple years.
Alexander to throw deep. He's got a man downfield. Caught! Touchdown by Robert Prescott.
Nice shot.
That was a good throw.
Hand it to Tim. That was absolutely a great shot over shorter defender.
Well, that was a bullet and a great catch. You know, the Beaver receivers made 3 or 4 outstanding catches in that last drive.
Well, you watch his arm strength. He doesn't actually put much air under that, does he?
No, he doesn't.
He throws it hard.
Michael Fletcher, number 1, got caught playing too shallow as a safety. You know, I think sometimes you get a little guy there who's not having a great day, those safeties start creeping up, and they don't respect the deep ball, and I think that's just what happened right there.
Cortez to add the extra point. He does. 48-23 as the Beavers answer with a touchdown pass of their own. 8:17 remaining in this 101st Civil War, and Robert Prescott getting the Beavers back on the board.
It's only a little scratch.
Here a scratch, there a scratch, everywhere a scratch. And they're all an eyesore. What you need is GS27 Scratch Remover. It's new from Duralube. GS27 gets rid of those surface scratches and paint swirls quickly and easily. Simply rub it into the scratch, then polish to a beautiful finish. The scratch is gone. GS27 is not an abrasive, and it works wonders on any color. Would you do this to a brand new car? Ouch! But GS27 removes that ugly scratch quickly and easily. It'll even remove paint scrapes and unsightly rust. GS27 is only $14.95, but order now and get a second tube for only $5. That's 2 for just $19.95. Order now.
Call 1-800-807-2800 or send check or money order for $14.95 for one or $19.95 for two, plus $5.95 shipping to GS27, 1000 Apex Street, Department GS, Nashville, Tennessee.
More Oregon football comes your way Saturday, December 6th, when the OSAA Class 4A football finals are on Fox Sports Northwest. Live at high noon, the Stars of Tomorrow square off in Oregon. Saturday, December 6th, live at noon on Fox Sports Northwest. Let's take a look at the scores by quarters. And you can see Oregon big in the first and third quarters. That's the difference in the football game. That quick start and Patrick Johnson's ability to make big plays. Beavers respond, coming back. Robert Prescott getting the 33-yard touchdown reception. That's his second touchdown, I should say, of the season.
Boy, Pat Johnson has had the best single-person game I've seen against the Beavers this year.
Jason Cooper with the kickoff return. He busts it up the middle over the 40 to the 43-yard line. Well, we have had a little bit of everything today.
Well, Todd, the one thing I've noticed about Oregon State's kick coverage, twice on kickoffs and twice on punts, is they do not bunch up at all. They seem to maintain their distance even when the guy is running up the field. They're not collapsing to the ball like they should.
They really are not. And in fact, Ken, they've been very good at it all year. And today it's a completely different situation. And it's also funny today, it's the only time all year the Beavers have not just kicked deep. They've kicked short, they've kicked the worm burner, everything else out of bounds. You wonder if maybe the kids just aren't associating in their mind what they're supposed to be doing, and that's finding the football.
Saladin McCullough can't break a big one today. Inoki Brechterfield nails him from behind. This is the second team Oregon offensive line into the ball game right now. A lot of young pups that we will see in years to come for Oregon.
I'll tell you, that Brechterfield's a great football player. He reminds me of that kid played for Arizona a couple years ago, the squatty little guy. You remember that?
Bruschi?
Yeah, he's a lot like Teddy Bruschi was. Very active, athletic, tough guy. He's a warrior. You can tell he loves to play the game.
You wonder how in the heck he makes so many plays, and how many has he made today? He has to have 15 again, or at least 13 like last year.
I agree, yeah.
Ducks have tried to run away from him most of the time.
Just a little just dive play up the middle. Saladin McCullough near the midfield stripe. It'll be third down and long 3 for the Ducks. McCullough nearing 140 yards. Remember, he needed 149 to at least put himself in the hunt. So Saladin McCullough out of the ball game. Darian Latimer comes in. And McCullough with 33 yards, or 33 rushing attempts. Under 7 minutes to go. Look at that, the new Oregon record for all-purpose yards, 343 yards.
Wow.
Third down and long 3 for Oregon. Moss will run the option. Darian Latimer, he who hesitates is lost, and he is nailed behind the line of scrimmage. Making the tackle for Oregon State is Jonathan Jackson.
Fine young middle backer. Now, think, 343 yards. There are guys who don't get that in a season.
That's an offense for a team in a game.
Oh.
And I got to tell you, though, it's now even. Brechterfield came off the corner, stoned Moss, and then helped him up. So each team has helped a guy up one time.
So that'll go into the official statistics as help up.
Help up.
Or nice guy.
Under sportsmanship.
Yeah. Bidwell's had a great day punting, although he hasn't had to punt many times. This one's not a good one, off the side of his foot and out of bounds.
And as soon as you say that, it's the Todd McKim jinx.
Gonna have to coach him before next year to get him jinxing the right side.
Things move pretty fast up here in the Northwest. And now BP Gasoline has come up with one more way to keep you moving. Circle K. It's the fastest way to pick up the gotta-have-it-now things you need day in and day out.
Have a nice day.
And fill up with BP Performance gasoline, all on one convenient corner of your busy world. BP and Circle K. More ways to keep you moving.
When news breaks, we are there. When the big stars, we welcome Kareem,
Evander Holyfield,
with Roger Clemens,
tell their stories.
But I'll never shut the critics up.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Fox Sports News Prime Time is there.
Now, I can really say Charles is the best player in the country.
On the field, in the clubhouse, or behind the scenes, our team's got you covered. Fox Sports News Prime Time. We are there. Weeknights at 10.
Thrown downfield. Prescott, did he stay inbounds? Somebody has to mark it. They do. He is inbounds on the reception.
I guess that's the new Magnolia moment, huh?
I guess so.
Nice throw. Nice catch. Was that Prescott again?
Yeah, that was Prescott.
Boy, he's having a day.
Tell me about that Magnolia moment again, Todd.
Momentarily, we will get to that. As our panel of experts continues to count the voting. Pass caught by Martin Maurer, and welcome to the Civil War.
Well, that kid's going to be a great football player.
Time now for our Magnolia moment, brought to you by Magnolia Hi-Fi. Well, the ballots have been counted, and the winner is Patrick Johnson's punt return.
And really, this is emblematic of his play today, Todd. 340-some all-purpose yards. That's 3 days' work for most guys.
And that is the Magnolia moment. Alexander, Ainsworth, he's going the wrong way. Now he's got himself turned around. I thought for a second that might be close to a lateral.
Well, I think it was a lateral. I thought for a moment it might be some kind of a trick play, and they were going to throw it out of Ainsworth's hands. Roddy Tompkins limping off the field.
Started every game in his Oregon State career. Really been a stalwart for the Beavers. And last year he was listed as a wide receiver, but basically he was just an extension of the running game. And this year, so excited about being able to run down the field and get the ball thrown in his direction and make some plays. He's really excited about the future.
Oh, and he has made some big plays for the Beavers. He's caught everything near him, it seems like.
Well, the Ducks appear to be well on their way to defeating the Beavers for the 4th consecutive time and securing their 4th consecutive winning season. Now, that's only happened 4 times in Oregon football history, where the Ducks have had 4 straight winning seasons, and you have to go back to the late 20s and 30s, the last time that has happened. You see the streak of 8 there. And the Ducks, with a victory, would make themselves bowl eligible. Trying to get back into the bowl picture for the 3rd time in 4 years. And they have really rolled up the points against Oregon State the last 2 years. Last year, 49, the most ever in the Civil War. 48 this year. Under 4.5 minutes to play. 3rd down and 12 for the Beavers. Alexander's gone the distance at quarterback. Going to throw deep over the middle, and it is caught again by Ainsworth. He has a 1st down at the Oregon 38-yard line.
Now Tim's set now, Ken. The last 3 or 4 passes, he's set up. Don't know whether it's just more time for what reason, but he's certainly setting up better. Look at this. Sets and throws.
He's also getting into a little bit of a rhythm.
That's what that long touchdown did.
That'll do it.
Alexander to roll this time left side. This ball is caught. 30, 20, and this is going to be a touchdown for Oregon State.
Brandon Reynolds.
He hasn't been an integral factor in the offense this year, but he's an outstanding native Oregonian.
Well, he had a brother, Cameron, who was a great back at Oregon State. You remember him.
Yep.
And Brandon hurt his knee out of high school. He redshirted a year. He's out at wide receiver instead of a running back. But it takes a year or 2 to get the knee back. Great moves there.
Showing nice speed down the sideline as well.
That was really nice running.
And Beavers looking to make it 30, and that's the second most points the Beavers have scored this year. Beavers earlier this year in the opener scored 33 against North Texas. Get on the board again, and a flag on the extra point. 3:54 to play in the ball game.
Well, if the Beavers want to try an onside kick, they may be getting 15 yards of extra territory to do it in.
But you got to believe we'll see an onside kick here. We just will. The Beavers have got to keep trying to win
dead
this
ball,
game.
personal foul against the defense. After the try is good. Penalty be marked off on the kickoff.
So we'll take a timeout. The Beavers will kick off, and they'll have a chance to do that at the midfield stripe when we come back.
Today, fans, we celebrate the art of basketball with poet Dr. D. Marcus Curry reading a piece written in the ancient Japanese art form haiku.
McDice, McDice, snake, sweat warrior, rising freely, caressing rainbow love.
That's poetry? How about this? McDice, McDice, your head's in a vice.
Peyton and the Sonics run with Kid and the Suns. Sunday at 5 on Fox Sports Northwest.
The Internet. Billions of miles of cable connecting millions of people, including some of the best and brightest minds in the country, the students and alumni of the Pac-10 universities. To advertise your full-time, part-time, or internship opportunity, contact your Pac-10 Career Center or call JobTrack online. 1-800-999-TRACK.
Pac-10 football on Fox Sports Northwest was brought to you by Smart Wireless. Take it from Smartman. Smart Wireless has all the analog and digital wireless options you need. Call 1-800-898-SMART. Well, Oregon fans don't look like they're enjoying this one at this moment. The ball is batted in the air, recovered by Oregon State. As they get the onside kick, Darnell Robinson made the recovery, but we do have a penalty flag at the point in which Oregon State kicked the ball.
Well, it's probably an offsides from where that's thrown.
Nice job to get it on the deflection by Robinson, but Beavers may have been offsides.
That was an excellent onside kick. That's just the way you like it, to take that big hop.
Encroachment on the kicking team. Kicker was beyond the line before the ball was kicked. Be 5 yards, re-kick.
Did he say the kicker?
Yeah, that's what I thought he said, the kicker.
Take a look at the backside of the play.
You get that big hop.
Now, the ball must, of course, go 10 yards unless, of course, the receiving team touches that. The other thing that the kickoff team is not allowed to do is to run down the field and wipe out somebody who is trying to field the ball before he has an opportunity to touch it. But once it goes 10 yards, you can go get that thing.
Well, once it hits the ground, I believe you can hit anybody you want, right?
You have to give the receiving team an opportunity to field the ball. Try it again, get the good bounce, and this time Jed Weaver has it. You know, I once saw Ted Kwolek return an onside kick for a touchdown.
I remember that game.
And Jed Weaver hauled that one in and headed straight upfield.
You know what I think was called? You saw the kicking team, they sent somebody in front of the kicker. And I think that was called the first time.
It might have.
Might have been in. Looking at the game summary, Keely Smith, 3 touchdowns, a couple of picks, but Patrick Johnson is the man of the day.
Wow.
199 yards receiving, 144 return yards, 4 touchdowns. And then the third down conversions really hurt Oregon State early. A.J. Feely, a redshirt freshman from Ontario, Oregon, getting his second action of the year. Played last week in a mop-up role against Arizona State. Threw a touchdown pass ran for one. Saladin, and they're trying to get Saladin McCullough the rushing title right now. And entering that series, he needed 139, or he had 139 yards. That meant he needed 10 more yards to go ahead of Rashawn Sheehy. Now keep in mind, Skip Hicks and Trung Candidate will have a say in the rushing title as well.
You never know how many hundreds of yards Skip Hicks is going to have. After last week, that guy's a juggernaut.
Yep.
But that's kind of neat for the second team line to have a chance to share in Saladin's glory here. First team fullbacks in there too. Eric Wynn.
Saladin McCullough to the outside, and he is short of the first down, I believe. In essence, if they gave him the ball 3 straight times, he'd have to get a first down to get the yards necessary. He's going to be a tired guy at the end of the day.
You got to believe that's what we'll see right here. Is it toss or something?
And this might be his last chance with 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. He's a yard short. If the Ducks don't get the first down, then he might come out of the ball game. Well, they're going to measure here.
So right now he's tied.
Right now he would be tied with Sheehy.
Well, it seems like we're at Oregon. He ought to be able to get the official scorekeeper to change that, right?
You never know who's a closet Beaver around here, Steve. Just because you're from Eugene doesn't mean you're a Duck, and vice versa.
If that's the case, we Beavers need a closet clock keeper right now. Fast.
So it is short of the first down. That means Saladin with 9 yards on this possession, which would give 148. Well, Mike Belotti's teams have played exceedingly well in the month of November in his 3 years. They'll be 11-1 after today's game. The only loss suffered last week at Arizona State. And if you want to be in the championship chase, you need to win games in November. The Ducks, their problem in recent years has been October.
That's right. They've lost 5 in a row last year, 3 in a row this year. They got to get that part ironed out, but the rest, the beginning and the end, is in pretty good shape.
Well, is there much suspense here?
Yeah, I bet you I can guess this one.
Well, the only suspense we have right now is who the penalty is against.
And the Oregon State defensive players are demanding a confession by the right guard of Oregon's offensive line. He's not going to say a word, though, and I think that's going to go against the Beavs.
That must be the 4th time today that the Ducks have gotten a first down because the Beavers have jumped off sides.
Wow.
You can see the yardage breakdown. You can see Oregon State above what they've done the last 4 weeks, 349 and 30 points, but they have not been able to stop Oregon consistently. McCullough cuts back, and that should do it. Maybe a fitting run in which to do it, showing the power, the speed, the cutback ability, and Saladin McCullough looks like he's got a shot to at least put himself in position to be the Pac-10 rushing champion, although he will fall short of being the single-season all-time Oregon rusher. Won't catch Bobby Moore. 156 for Solly. Great player going out in fitting fashion.
Heck of a back.
There are a lot of Oregon State fans clapping because that's the last they hope to see of him.
No, just this is the sportsmanship thing.
Saladin McCullough in his 2 games against Oregon State will have rushed for 300 yards. Eric Wynn, a senior from Beaverton. You know, now is a point in time where a lot of these seniors look up at the clock and the realization sets in that, you know, if you're an Oregon State senior, this is the last time I put on the black and orange and white jersey. And if you're Oregon, this is your last game at Autzen Stadium, and you certainly hold out hopes for a 12th game this year, a bowl game. Saladin McCullough made it known early in this week. He wanted to play in another game, that he was not going to go out without giving it the great effort to try to obtain a bowl game. And the Ducks certainly have their opportunity. 6-5. This is Jason Cooper. This guy is fast if he gets going. And that time, a little too fast for his own self. Redshirt freshman from Skyline High School in Oakland, California. High school teammate of LaCorey Collins. Highly recruited by Minnesota, Nebraska. 78 combined points is the most ever in a Civil War game. In a record-setting day on a number of categories, including Patrick Johnson's 343 all-purpose yards.
Well, at the outset of the show, we said that the Beavers' game plan was to stop the run and to stop the quarterback running, and we definitely forgot someone.
Patrick Johnson has put himself in position to win the Pac-10 Player of the Week award in special teams and on offense. Well, that'll do it. That'll be the final play. And the 1997 regular season comes to an end. Oregon defeating Oregon State 48-30 to secure their 4th consecutive win in the Civil War and their 4th consecutive winning regular season. Blake Spence, Saladin McCullough. Some of these Oregon seniors amongst the best ever to wear the green and yellow. So the final score, 48-30. Final thoughts, Ken?
Well, I give the Beavers a lot of credit for coming back when things look tough. The Ducks just way too many offensive weapons right now. Probably represent the model of what Oregon State is going to be shooting for in years to come.
Steve?
Well, no question about it. I feel really very good about what the Beavers have accomplished in what was totally a transition year. First year for a coach with another system's players. You win 3 football games and play some pretty tough games with other people. I look forward to next year.
Well, and we do as well. The final score, 48-30, Oregon over Oregon State. I want to say thanks to all the folks that have worked behind the scenes. Michael Odino, Tim Lay, the entire crew. Thanks a lot. For Steve Priest, Ken Woody, I'm Todd McKim. Thanks for joining us, and so long from Eugene.